Hello, one and all. Welcome to episode 370 of Fans of Power. I am Nathan Kennedy, joined by returning Tyler T-Rex Baker, the Rotten Amato, Joe Amato, the Trash Man, Red McKenzie is here, and the Doctor is in the house. The Doctor's in the building. The Doctor has returned. Dusan Mitrovic is here. Tyler, you feeling better?
Feels good to be back. I know we had PowerCon and everything, but I had to have 2 weeks off from doing the podcast. But last week, I felt like I was in a prison in the other room, wrapped up in my bed, teeth chattering, oh my God, it was awful. I'm blowing my nose, I'm coughing and hacking up all kinds of Slimer bullshit. It was awful. Hey, Tom's here.
Tom Brisky in the house.
Now he's Deuce's Tom Brisky.
Yeah.
Brisky. I don't think I've ever even asked him how to pronounce his last name.
It's Brisky. It's Brisky, but we'll call him Brisky. I guess it's Deucen's now. Deucen has staked claim to Tom.
So I guess
Tom...
Rebecca and Deucen have to go in Steel Cage and fight for the managerial skills of Tom Brisky. Or something like that. But boy, it feels good to be back talking to He-Man. It really does. I wanted to take a break months back, just take an episode off, but I couldn't bring myself to do it, and now just being forced to do it. I hated I wasn't here last week. I really did, but I'd have been the biggest stick in the mud trying to sit on here and talk with you because I was miserable. I mean, just bad. Even Erica was like, "God, you don't look good." I'm like, "I know, because I feel it. I feel."
Yeah, but doesn't she just say that every day?
No. Oh. In fact, it's the quite opposite.
Oh, sure.
Oh, God.
No, Erica, she's watching right now. No, you don't say that every day. I want to clarify that.
I
say that every day. I'll be hearing about it.
You got Con Crud, I think, the worst out of everybody.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. Mine was licking. I found that out. Mine was doing a lot of lick.
A lot of your sodium snorting.
No. Did you see Rich? No. Hold on. I'm not getting perverted here. Jen got me some bags of these chips. these. Listen, they were called Voodoo chips. These chips, goddamn ET, they were delicious.
I couldn't help but think of when Rebecca saw Joe for the first time. That it's like little Drew Barrymore seeing E.T. and she screams in Joe's head and stretches out and he chases after her.
Let me finish. So she got me these bags of chips called Voodoo chips that have the most amazing flavor I ever tasted, but they're kettle chips. And I proceeded to, I first had some in the bag the one time, but I had almost 2 bags in a row where I kept licking eating. It destroyed my fucking mouth, made me feel weird. I gotta go get medication for that shit. But I'm good now. So now I know in like moderation I'll eat them. What, go ahead.
I told Joe because he messaged me. He's like, "Oh, I might have to go to the doctor or something." I'm like, "Joe," after he told me what he did, I'm like, "Dude, you overdid that. You fucked up your tongue. It's gonna hurt for a couple days, and then it'll gradually go away." And he went and still spent money. And
none of this sounds okay.
But listen, hold on. It really hurt for almost a fucking week. It just almost healed finally from yesterday. That shit hurt. So they gave me.
I told you to go get Lysine. That vitamin is meant for those things.
Yeah, well, they got me, like I said, some stuff in case there was like an infection that could have happened because it was kind of fucked up in there. And then they got me some other stuff to take, but I'm all good now. But I got to know to try to just lay back on that licking the chips real hard because it was rough, but good.
Dude, none of this shit is okay.
Now, hey, I did want to say one more thing though, Nathan, before we do it all.
Okay.
Okay, and this is kind of not serious, but serious. I do eat a lot of weird, disgusting stuff, but I'm gonna let everybody off the hook about those hot dogs from years ago. What happened was, Jen and I, we were. What a weird, but like.
I don't know. Go ahead.
But no, Jen and I, we were like at a parking lot of a place, and she looked. She was like, and she said, "Joe, are those hot dogs out there?" And I looked. I was like, I think they are. And she had a really good video. No. This is for the first hot dog incident. The whole thing, all them years,
well, how many
a couple years ago.
I didn't know there was another one.
No, this is the same one. But Jen was a part of it. She seen that pack of hot dogs. She was like, Joe, go get a video and then act like you take them and then act like you eat them on the show. So I did the whole video. And when I got home, I already had hot dogs at home. So just to let you know, I never ate those parking lot.
Why are you the Oz, man? Why are we peeling back the curtain on this whole thing?
I didn't want people thinking I was that disgusting. I mean, I do eat weird shit.
I will say, you came close to it at Power Card at one point with some chewing gum.
Well, I was messing with you guys. I was officially not going to put it, but I like to seeing you get paid.
Are you kidding? The minute all three of us like, dude, no, Joe, don't.
Swear to Tyler.
Done it.
I'll take that video. I'll cut that part. Just that part of the video and upload it as a short on the channel.
But no, I will let you know. I was seeing how far I could push the anxiety because Tyler was like, Joe, no, dude, don't do that. And I kept acting. I was never going to put it in my mouth, but I just wanted, and then I put my antiseptic immediately on after. But
yeah, I never saw him do that. I just saw him like, I don't know if it was my gum that he was given to put in his mouth or Erica's or whatever, but
he grabbed it like reaching the box. It was some random.
I put gum in that box and. I didn't see Joe use any hand sanitizer at all.
I did immediately after.
Wiped his hands
on his shorts.
I did. I had those handy wipes that I was using because remember when
the squashed up granola bar that came out of your pocket?
Tissue or something you had in your pocket. You probably blew your nose on.
No, it was a handy wipe.
I imagine Joe's like that kind of like those older guys who have like the handkerchief they put back in the pocket. They blow them all over the. I'll say that for later.
You're a nasty dude, Joe Amato.
So I know what you guys thinking. I was that disgusting. I will eat disgusting shit, but I will not go.
I'm getting some conflicting reports right here from Jenny saying he's lying. He really ate them. Why would you fake something so nasty?
Well, Jenny, if you were with him when he did it, why did you stay with him?
I love you, Jenny, baby.
Yeah, you got one more coming there, Ren.
She's the Bonnie to his Clyde. She's obviously an accessory to all this hot dog eating nasty bullshit.
She's absolutely an accessory.
I want she's off to the solid dry heaving like Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber when he's sitting there eating like these pasty, pale, rotten hot dogs.
Probably
sitting out in the sun, you know.
Yeah. Like Joe, I bet you won't eat them. You're like, I fucking eat them. I eat everything. I'm Joe Amato.
He probably took 3 at a time and shoved them in his mouth, you know? Like Homer Simpson eating donuts.
Bonk, swallow them whole.
I mean, admittedly, you've seen I can eat shit weird, like how I just basically almost swallowed that whole pickle.
Weird.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
No. So there, I didn't want you guys thinking less of me. I don't know.
Next thing you know, it's just like finding out, you know, that whoever brings me presents on Christmas morning doesn't exist. Joe, what kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nobody's believing that fairy tale, Joe Amato.
No.
All right.
You are nasty.
Man, there's gonna be a lot of kids going to school tomorrow because their parents are like, son, I gotta tell you, he doesn't eat all that weird shit like he says he does. It's like the worst day ever.
Yeah.
Kids are not gonna want to wake up. They're gonna be defying their parents.
They'll be rebellious in school, going to being throwing stuff at the teacher, going stuck in school suspension.
It's gonna be children in the corn in some places. Kids are gonna murder all their parents and take over the town.
Jesus Christ!
All because Joe
doesn't eat hot dogs off the ground.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. You better be glad you didn't say that crap the week before PowerCon. You wouldn't have had as many people coming up to you. Like, man, Joe Amato just hurt my feelings, that motherfucker.
I still think look at that was nice. That was nice. I got Ren in the hotel room. He was sleeping. I just came in for a quick just grab right there. Just like you seen when I was there's Tyler. But you guys seen the video? I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen, there is a short on our channel where I come up to Ren and I get him good. When I was talking about how I was gonna like kiss him and hold him, that did happen. It really did happen.
It did.
So so that's a short.
We had witnesses. The poor child.
Yeah. Joe's the Red Goblin.
That kid didn't know whether to be scarred or happy.
But then he laughed. He was getting a kick out of it.
He didn't laugh. He screamed.
Eternally screamed.
He screamed. Yeah.
That little rascal. He didn't help me either. So screw that kid.
Well, before we go forward with, because I will tell some more stories from PowerCon, we'll get Tyler's thoughts on PowerCon. Joe will pass along to you so you can read off all the names of everybody in the chat room. You're going to have your work cut out for you now.
Here we go. We have Chris Carter, Fedmon, Brian Brummagin.
Oh, man.
Sean D. I can't even say a simple name. Sean D. Rebel Wookie. I almost said my own fucking name. That would have been great. Papa
Joe
Hunt 69
here with
us. Somehow.
MOTU Drew is here. MOTU Matthew is here.
All the Motus here tonight.
I ain't saying any of that shit out loud. Brian Davis. I don't know what's going on. Casey Duncan. Jenny K, I love you, baby. Don't say it, Ren.
I love you, baby. Hey,
fucker.
Jenny.
All right. Paul Rick is here. Jaime Mares. I'm scrolling. Oh, damn, I might have jumped like 100 names there or something. On the Run is here.
Father?
Shut up. Somebody new is here. On the Run, thank you for joining us. How's Your Father is here. The Wiley Walt. It was great meeting you in person, Wiley Walt. Great guy. From the Felipe, I think I said Felipe. No, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm getting senile. John Ballard, Tom Brisky. Yeah, Joe Mauer. Tom Brisky or Brisky or however one speaks it.
Hopefully Tom's feeling better too.
Yeah, Omegator. And I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize. What?
Well, with Tom here, I want to thank him again for that Cheers intro that is posted on our channel. If you haven't watched that yet, please go watch it. It's so fucking cool.
It's great. Yeah.
It's
I kind of figure we'd all be like an amalgam of all the characters on that show. Like I figured Joe would be like a Cliff and Norm. Like he wanders in, but he's very secluded and sheltered from like how the world really is. So he could buy into crazy shit like Cliff, but then everybody knows who is. Afternoon, everybody. Joe!
Yeah.
He's got his regular seat at the bar, and like me and Nathan have to pass down some cruddy shit down to him, and like Rebecca comes over and insults him. Ren's at the end of the other end of the bar to avoid the flies. And Deuce is Mr. Know-It-All, sitting next to he'd be like the Frasier on the show, the Know-It-All. Constantly walking around the bar correcting everybody.
Yeah, I can see that.
Oh hell, I can see the comments. So, Tom said he's got something else brewing.
Oh yeah. I know.
I get scared every time you guys make a video.
I have an inkling of what it is, and I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone. So when that arrives, I'll probably show all of you guys first, and then post on the channel. But Tyler, you weren't here last week. Let's get all of your thoughts on PowerCon, man.
I'm going to get serious then because I wasn't sure if I was going to have time to talk about it tonight. But
absolutely. No, I was going to give you the time because since you weren't here last week, we owe you that much.
Well, I appreciate that. Me and Erica walked away from that like changed people. Like she loved it so much. She's already bought 2 dresses for the next PowerCon. Like she was already looking for restaurants that would accommodate large crowds and. Because we had so much fun at the after dinner and stuff like that, and her perception of the podcast is like completely different than it was before. Like she has such a great appreciation for what talking about He-Man and other things means to us and what it means to other people. Like seeing all of us interact with each other and interacting with the fans and listeners and just seeing that camaraderie. It was just extremely touching to her, where she got teary-eyed a lot, like more than once, like. Friday night, we go back to the room, and she's just telling me just what it meant to her to like see me talking to fans about Spider-Man, and watching us just have the best time interacting with it. That we're all people that, we have this shtick on the podcast that we're all like these crazy degenerates and stuff like that. We're not like that at all in person. We're very nice.
I mean, Joe, come on.
Well, Joe did have a cloud of flies around him. I'm like, well, there's Joe over there, so that's kind of easy to pinpoint him. But it was super like surreal, like to walk in. We see Rebecca first thing, and not even get to the table. We went into Wiley Wall. I'm like, holy shit, the real life Malactus right there. And it was just, run right into him. And then there was a listener, Rick Poe, at the table waiting for an autograph, like, for all of us.
And a very, very generous donation to our donation box.
Did that. Yeah, that was unbelievable. And all the listeners that came by the table, like Rodney, Dennis, Carlos, Tom, like, they all had, and others who had heard of the podcast and were just kind of casually coming by, or the ones who didn't even know about. We're all out of business cards. Like while we were out doing stuff, Erica's like pimping us out, like getting the word out to everybody. Here's a business card. Hey, check that. And it was amazing. And when one of us is gone, like people wanting to buy Ren's artwork, we're all helping out and trying to get Ren's artwork sold, or trying to sell my toys and stuff like that. It was this awesome camaraderie that we had with everybody, and it was fun to hear like her thoughts on about it after the fact.
Yeah.
And getting to have like a moment of running into Joe. Like Sunday morning, like he's coming to get coffee. I'm like, holy shit, that's Joe, no mask. I hadn't seen him all weekend without the mask.
Yeah, that was nice.
That was, and just to stop and just talk to him for the first time with no mask on, face to face, and that was a good, touching, emotional moment of just kind of like talking with him, and it was so this got Erica really good too. Joe was that, and I think I told Joe that already, but like. Before we said our goodbyes to everybody, and Joe came over and said goodbye to Erica without his mask. At the table. At the table. There was no hoopla, nothing like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. I swear. He just came and did it. Erica was like crying on the way home about that. Mm-hmm. Like she got really like, it just seeing how everybody, like she loved talking to everybody. She had nothing but the best things to say about everybody. Mm. I mean, just talking about, just seeing like how energetic Nathan was, and like Austin was talking to Ren, and she just adored Jen and just enjoyed talking to John.
They hung out a lot. Erica and Jen hung out a lot during the weekend. Yeah,
they did. And while we weren't at the table, they're running it, or letting people know, hey, they'll be back, or it was awesome seeing them hit it off as well as they did. And they went and watched the costume contest together. I mean, it was awesome. Like Erica's ready for PowerCon, so when she found out last week that there's what may or may not be one, it was just like the worst day. It was like not getting. It's like John Cena doesn't throw you his T-shirt out in the crowd. Like,
I mean, who gives a shit about that, man?
No, I always think of this Botchamania clip with this girls in the crowd, like,
oh yeah, with the sign.
It's my birthday, and he doesn't throw it to her, and it's like worst day ever. I just think it's hilarious. So.
Well, speaking of T-shirts and hilariousness, so I'm wearing this Burger Thing shirt. So at our table across from us, they actually had like really awesome T-shirts there, tons of selection. So I'm sitting there. This was Saturday. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. We're close. I think we're a little over halfway of the showtime of being on the
Saturday.
Floor. Yeah. And I kind of just powered down for a second, and I'm just like sitting there, like zoning out. And Tyler, I'll let you kind of explain more.
It just looked like Nathan was kind of just checked out, didn't want to talk to anybody, didn't want to look at anybody. He just had this kind of like, fuck my life.
I just needed a second,
Yeah, he needed a moment, but he had this kind of like, he just looked like he was just defeated. He's on his phone.
Tired.
And I see this shirt, and I don't like it. I think it's just lame and stupid, but I wanted to hear what Nathan had to say about it. I said, hey, what do you think about that Burger Thing shirt? That's fucking dumb. And he didn't even look at me. He's just like, it's like, I can see like his snarl, like fucking dumb, And I busted out laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing because he was so like, I don't care, man. It's dumb, man. I'm done. Who are you? It was just so funny because Nathan's just funniest when he's not trying to be funny. When he's like being malicious about something because he genuinely doesn't like it. I can't. I was laughing uncontrollably. So that became like, hey, see Burger Thing? Hey, see Burger Thing?
Well, but then I started laughing about it because Tyler's laugh when he's like really, really laughing is very infectious. So he's laughing, and then I start laughing because the situation itself is funny. And then we're letting Joe in on it, and I'm just repeating it because at this point I'm so tired that it's reaching that point that it's not delirious, but you're to that point where you're just giggly. And I kept laughing about it. I'm like, yeah, it is pretty fucking dumb. And then I'm like, I need to go buy this shirt, right? Yeah. I have to now. So I went and bought the shirt, and here we are, Burger Thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb.
Said he would wear it when I was on here.
I think it's clever.
I got it. Whatever. Well, he's only saying that. Whatever. I don't.
I said it at the show. I said at the show. I think it's clever.
I didn't hear you
Burger
say that.
Thing.
You must have been on the other side over there.
Look at.
Or you were probably like off talking to someone else while we were. You probably said it to like
clever.
That is not clever. That's Joe Amata humor. That's Joe Amata humor. That's the kind of shit he'd be putting on his t-shirts.
Agreed.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I'll tell you what, they made at least one sale on it.
That's true. Yeah. You're looking at it, yeah.
Well, and I guess they don't really care if you liked it or not. He bought it, so.
There were two. I saw a guy at the con actually wearing the shirt
because
on
it's
Sunday.
Clever.
To an extent, I guess. I think it's fucking dumb. But
yeah. I did want to say something to Tyler, though. I was going to say, no, I mean, in regards to
Fuck
Erica,
you,
you're
man.
Right. No, in regards to Erica, you're right. Right before, you guys were leaving, and I know she didn't see my face, and I'm literally with the mask, on at the booth. And so I ducked behind, quickly changed like that, and she just seen me as this, and I walked around the other side, and she almost for a double take, and then realized it was me, and I gave her a hug, and I wanted her to see the real Joe Amato, and I just, wanted to have that moment, and, it meant a lot, and also it was this part with you and Jen. I mean, first, I love watching how Jen and Erica were talking. That made me feel so good seeing them just get along the way they did, but there was a point when Tyler gave Jen a hug, and I looked over, and I don't know, something fucking got me right here, and I was like, oh my God, am I almost like tearing up, and I'm wearing the mask, and I looked away, and I looked back, and he was still hugging her hard. I was like, oh, fuck. And then finally,
That's called jealousy, Joe.
No, it was actually, I don't know, seeing my real good friend and family with my future wife, and it just did something that just hit me in the heart so hard.
You're fuck, do I have to fight Tyler?
No, but it was sweet. It really did get me. I was like, oh, son of a bitch, I'm getting emotional, so.
Even Ren, I could tell, like, when I said goodbye to Ren, like, it was so cool, like, to see Ren be the opposite, for how we are on the show. Like, we're constantly, like, trying to find a way to bust each other's balls, but it was, I could tell, like, it was really cool to see Ren very, like, cool, and I won't say emotional, but I could definitely feel like he probably had some thoughts in his head, like, when we were getting ready to leave, and I'm like, that's really fucking cool, man. Like, it was, like, to hug Ren and just tell him how much, it was so much fun, like, getting to embrace everybody. And, I mean, seeing James just skip down the aisle, like, what the fuck?
Sneaky shit.
I could not believe it was unbelievable for that to have happened the way that it did. And I kudos to Rebecca for keeping the lid on, and that if Deuce knew about it, he didn't spill the beans.
I had no idea.
Which is probably why. But that was unbelievable to be able to hug James, shake his hand, and just talk with him and hang out with him constantly throughout the convention, hanging out with Tom face to face. Well, that was a wonderful experience too. Like and it was so cool because Erica just kept talking about how much she got along and just felt so comfortable with everybody. From at the booth to walking around. Like I brought her over to Tom's table to introduce him. Like when we kind of had our table at dinner, like she just enjoyed. Like it sucked we didn't all get to sit together, but she really just felt super comfortable at the table there. Just listen to Tom share stories about life in Chicago, or what a douchebag someone who works or used to work at Mattel might be.
Oh yeah.
That's a great story. A lot of great stories there, and it was an unbelievable experience. Like I couldn't sleep Friday night. I couldn't sleep Saturday night. I could sleep Sunday because it was a 5-hour drive home, so I didn't have too much trouble going to sleep. But the following nights, it was a lot. Even taking the sleep aid, I could not turn my brain off. I was so wired from the excitement of interacting with everybody for the first time, meeting people who actually love the show that don't leave comments or watch it live, and they all had nothing but positive things to say about everything we do, not just Fans of Power, but
Beyond Retro.
Beyond Retro, like Kissing is like, you listen to that, really? And there was genuine appreciation for everything that we did, and I mean, I really thought it was going to be a big Virgil weekend. This desolate, nobody's going to care. It's going to be an embarrassment. Yeah, there we go. It was going to be like that all weekend. And the minute I walk in, seeing Wally Walt and get to talk with him as many times as I did, I want to be able to hang out with him at some point in the near future because he is cool as shit. I had so much fun talking to him.
I was already talking with Ren since the three of us and Wiley live fairly close to each other of setting something up, trying to get together before the year's over with or something. Just
most definitely. Yeah, it'd be easy for us to get together because Ren's.
Make sure it's warm so I can ride the bike.
Okay.
Well, we're running out of time there, buddy.
Yeah.
Not in Virginia.
I don't
know.
Not compared to Ohio. So I'm in Ohio right now.
Oh yeah.
How close are you?
I'm in Columbus.
He's still in Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's back at the hotel.
Yeah.
They just said you can have the room.
Yeah.
He started hanging his shit up on the walls.
Yeah.
See, Ray, you realize how close you are to me? You could actually come visit me. Now, wouldn't that just be a dream? It would just be you and I. We could hang out and do some stuff. So
he doesn't look fumigated for Joe Bug.
Hang out and do some stuff, Ren.
Yeah.
He's not enthused. Fuck it.
I imagine like Joe is like laying in bed like Chris Farley, Adam Sandler that wants to get with her, pretend to be like husband and wife. Oh, Hank, and Joe's sitting there rubbing Ren's arm like. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
I think my feed froze.
Yeah, you froze up for a second.
Well, no, I did.
Ren he sat still. He looked terrified and just fucking
depressed.
I
was like, well, he ain't happy right now. So
no, he looked depressed. The thought of being with Joe. Holy shit.
You're close to Cleveland or something, aren't you?
Maybe.
No, but I'm close to you. You could always just get here sometime. But go ahead. What you said.
Well, one thing I want to address because I saw it in the chat last week. Someone was like, "Is Ren high?"
Dude, okay. Aww. So somebody inboxed me and asked me the same fucking thing.
Why would somebody do that, though?
No, because Ren's sitting there like he doesn't have his glasses on. He's sitting like this the whole time.
And I was squinting. And listen. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I was fucking dozing. I was dozing off last week, man.
We're putting him to sleep.
Yeah, I like the show, you fucker.
It was Joe. It was Joe talking, about how much he, loved the con and all that stuff, and I was like, "Geez, dude,
I thought it's because you weren't wearing your glasses, and you said you're having to squint.
Yeah, I was squinting my ass off, man. I couldn't see shit.
Man.
So everybody, I'm really blind. Like, I can't see shit.
You can't see shit.
Yeah. I will say it was fun getting to talk to Rob McCallum too, who's doing the Faking Filmation documentary. Like we got to talk with him for a little while too, and that was a real treat. And I even mentioned to him like he needs to come on the podcast at some point just to talk He-Man, like and maybe when things get down the line when they're freed up, which I know he's busy running around all over the place doing filming and stuff like that too. But that was a real treat to talk to him. Just about stuff in general about the previous works he's done.
Yeah. And going back to talking about Jen and everyone's interaction, and I
absolutely enjoyed every second with Jenny while we were there.
I didn't get to. I didn't get to spend as much time with her or talk to her as much, but when I did, the 2 times that I really spoke to her is right before we left, and then Saturday night when we're all hanging out, mingling, and drinking. I made it a point to tell her how much it meant to me and everybody. I'm sure everyone can agree with this. Just what she has done for Joe.
Yeah.
Because without her, Joe wouldn't have been at PowerCon, I don't think, at all.
Yeah.
So
that was something I think her and Erica talked about a lot too. Like they had so much heart to heart, especially about Joe, and it was funny because I think she realized too I wasn't the asshole that I appeared to be on the podcast either. Which I was like, no. Which I know Erica doesn't like it when I act like that, but she understands. It's just it's we're just having fun. It's a gimmick.
All part of the gig. It's the
gig. It's part of the keeping kayfabe on the podcast here. But it was just cool to see people's reactions to all of us, like when we finally see each other. I love knowing that Ren was terrified when he saw me in person and did not want to reenact the opening of Predator. It was good to hear him say that on the podcast last week too. I was sitting in my car look at that. He's terrified of me.
I wouldn't say terrified.
I'm embellishing, Ren.
I don't know if I said terrified. Calm down.
Intimidated because you're so big and Ren's so small.
Watch your mouth, Nathan. You jerk. Hey, my starstruck is over. Fuck all that. I didn't want to embarrass him.
You were starstruck when you saw me?
Hell no.
I'm so humbled, man.
Man, you never that. I don't even believe that.
I don't know. Well, I go back and listen to last week's episode. And Nathan said, we were supposed to reenact the opening of Predator.
We were
supposed to. Sure,
I was gonna. That would have been cool to film and make a little short out of it. Ren, you son of a bitch, and then you guys.
And then Deuce edits like a big nuclear explosion when our bombs collide. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Instead, we got the input of Joe rubbing my ass.
Yeah.
It would have look. You would have had a better weekend had you just went through with it and just.
I know.
I think so too. Yeah. I'm
Instead, you got Joe cupping the fill of your ass there, and he doesn't. Joe's like a crab. When he gets a hold of you, he ain't gonna let go.
And he's got crabs, so
yeah. Oh my God.
Forever.
Next time we meet physically, we'll do it.
All right.
Yeah.
I hopefully this will be during the Wiley Walt meetup, so I'll be there and I can film it.
Yeah. By the way,
Wiley's a buff dude too.
Yeah. He is. And I was like, if I had known he worked out too, and Ren, we all could have met up at the same time and worked out Saturday morning.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It'd have been awesome.
You and your secret workout sessions.
Secret workout sessions. We were there at 9 o'clock in the morning. We went out and posed in front of the Arnold statue. That was a blast.
But you never let anyone know.
I'm sorry. You were staying up all late and getting the shenanigans and the tomfoolery and all that. And,
Literally, pun intended, because we were hanging out with Tom. So
Tom, yeah. We get the shenanigans with Tom Bryce. That's our tomfoolery there.
And the electric game.
Yeah, which that was fun playing that.
That was fun.
And Nathan sent me that link and said, Erica, look what Nathan found on Amazon. No, you're not getting that. Why not? So, fine. I'll just take it with us when we go to the beach. We have another family beach trip.
That would be fun.
My brother Death would play it, and I could see my mom dabbling in that game too.
One last thing on PowerCon, and we will transition over into Snake Men. That I want to say, I'm gonna get the photos that I want to use, and then buy a collage frame. And speaking, because you mentioned Joe taking his mask off at the end before we all left, I think one of my favorite pictures of the weekend is the three of us, Joe without his mask, with that picture. That will probably be front and center of the collage frame. So
it's a shame, because I don't know what Ren was doing at that moment.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but it was quick because I didn't want Joe to. It was like, let's do this quickly because I know Joe was taking his mask off. Let's just do it. And
maybe
Ren was busy talking.
Either that, or was he getting food? Ren may have been getting food at the time.
Oh, I think it's what it was when he left to go get food. Yeah, because it took him forever to come back.
Yeah, because all those anime kids were ordering food where he went to get food.
Oh, yeah. Okay. In the morning. That was in the morning.
Yeah,
in the morning.
Kind of early on. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because we were. Because we didn't get to say goodbye to James either. We did get to say. Well, we did, but then
kind of.
Kinda, yeah. And then he just took off there, and we never saw him again. Yeah. He was on his way he was just hanging out the rest of the day. I cannot thank all you guys. Rebecca and John, they're not here right now, but everybody. I just for me and Erica both, like we both had the most magical. We were just talking about it again this evening before we had dinner.
Okay, I want to say hello to Erica as well, because I really did have a great time meeting her as well. I don't know if I mentioned that either, but really cool person, down to earth. I'm really happy that she keeps your ass in line. So
yeah, she makes you look like a real idiot a lot of times, because I'm like, I don't know shit, and she will point it out. So
yeah, it was good meeting her too.
Tyler, the running theme of the weekend, because the funniest thing is Tyler took cash at his table, but he was also doing PayPal and Venmo. And someone's like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you Venmo," and he's like, "I don't know how to fucking do this shit. I don't how do you do this?" And I'm just sitting there like, "Oh man!" And then Tyler's like, "Yeah, like me and Joe know nothing about technology. That's the reason Nathan's here to do the show for us and do that, because we couldn't fucking do it." And I'm like, "Yeah. I know."
Yeah. But it's
he learned.
I did learn, so I'll be bringing more figures to PowerCon the next time to sell. And I will say I'm going to put these up on eBay. I meant to do it this weekend, but I'm going to put my Battle Armor Faker and my Demo Man up on eBay if anybody's interested.
Actually, I mean, we got people in the chat here right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't have the other two damage plates, but Faker comes with his sword. He's in great shape. He's just been on display for years. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really have a use for the figure. I'm happy with my regular Faker, so I'm probably going to put him up for about,
put a reserve price. Just
make sure I'll have a reserve price. I will say his left ankle is a little loose, but it still stands up perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And Demo Man comes with everything. He's got his sword and his mace. Just been on display, so I'm going to put them up on eBay. Of course, if anybody wanted to buy it in advance, I have an idea in mind for I could sell them as a lot at both, but if you wanted just Faker, I have a particular price because it's cheaper than what's available. What's on eBay.
Say it out loud, man.
I mean, if there's anyone here that's interested in the chat room, how should we? Should I get them to send you an email or send you? How would you like them to get in contact with you here? If they?
I mean, email or probably Messenger. If you want to send something on Messenger or something like that.
Well, how about this? If anyone here in the live chat right now, we'll give it a couple. When are you looking to list these on eBay, Tyler?
I mean, I'm going to take some pictures. Erica may even upload it on hers because I had a difficult time with two other auctions a while back, just trying to get everything.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll give this a couple days. If anyone has any interest in those in the live chat or watching, tomorrow, we'll give it till maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. How about that?
Yeah.
If anyone has an interest, let me look this up to make sure I'm not gonna screw it up again. Send an email to fansofpowerpodcast@gmail.com. And let me know that you are interested. I'll pass the information along to Tyler. Maybe we can work something out that way. Also, we'll put this out there. To those of you that are afraid to leave comments or suggestions, whatever, send an email, fansofpowerpodcast@gmail.com. I will read those live on air when we take questions here. And I'll do the Joe Amato thing. We got 43 people. There were almost 50 here at one point. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Help us out with the algorithm. Let's get some more eyes on our channel and our content.
And ring the bell.
Yeah, and ring the bell.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Do all the things.
Yes. And Nathan, before we do get into the discussion, did you say you had one more thing you wanted to say or something? I thought before the show started you said you were going to say something. Or something, in regards to somebody or something.
Oh, I remember him saying that too. Yeah.
What?
To I don't know, a person in your family.
Okay. Right, okay. Yeah. All right. So
more evil.
Dad will get a kick out of this. He's watching right now. So Sunday, I worked yesterday, so today is the day to Emily grocery shopped yesterday, but today I'm like, I got to do this. So we're out and about. Emily, I want to go to TJ Maxx. All right, yeah, let's go into TJ Maxx. We go in there. She's walking around. It's almost Halloween season's coming up. I'm like, I'll leave here, see if Big Lots has anything. So I leave, get a text message from her. Hey, your mom's in here. And I'm like, all right, I don't know. I who's she with? I don't know, some girl. And I'm like, okay. So Emily finds me in Big Lots. We go back in there. Mom thought that I saw her and just like ducked out for whatever reason. I'm like, why would I do that? But sure. And we're standing there talking. Of course, the girl that my mom was with is another member of the family. Mom's helping her out with like redecorating her living room or something. I'm like, oh, all right, that's interesting. Anyway, before Ren falls asleep like he did on Joe last week. So Emily, she has a regular job, but she's also a farrier when she's not doing that. So she shoes horses. She puts shoes on horses and does all kinds of different stuff. But like her back is quite bad, and she's been in the chiropractor. And that worked for a while, but now it's like kind of worse. And now she started to do physical therapy, and the physical therapist is kind of like, yeah, you've either slipped a disc or maybe you have spinal stenosis. Don't know. So they're going to give that a few weeks and then get a scan or whatever. So my mom had a Joe Amato moment where essentially the four of us are standing here in an aisle of TJ Maxx, and she's like, yeah, you want to get one of those things that just like pounds you real good, and she starts making this noise like this, and I bust out laughing, and I'm like, oh no. She's like, no, like a massager thing, that will like pound you real good, and I'm like, oh my god.
Oh man, I wish I could have heard your mom say that too. Like, oh my god.
It came.
If your dad had been there to see it too, oh god, he'd have been laughing hysterically.
With that motion, huh?
Like. With the noise, she was smacking her hand and making the noise. I'm like, oh, Mom, you don't know what you're doing. So she does this. I think Emily was trying to save face of like, me, Tyler, when Mom does something like that, I'm like, oh, wow. And I just started laughing. My cousin started laughing. It was a good time. Hopefully Dad's having a good laugh right now. I'm sure if Mom is listening, her face is probably beet red. But
I'm sure he's looking at it with that big smile on his face, just...
Oh my God.
So then, pretty much immediately after that, I tap Emily on the shoulder. I'm like, all right, let's go to Spencer's. And if you know, you know.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way.
God.
So there you go.
Great. Oh shit, that was good.
Well,
On
on to the Snake Men, huh?
Let's go to the snake.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let's talk about some snakes.
All right, so. Man, I'm trying to think of kind of where to start here. So, shit, man, like the Snake Men is kind of an interesting faction because it's one of those in the vintage line. I guess the first question I was going to ask here is, since you didn't really get much in Filmation other than Cobra Khan, which that is another kind of discussion in of itself that we're going to get to, what were the initial impressions? Because you don't have Filmation to go off of. It's finding these figures. These are also later waves, correct? This is like wave 5, wave 6?
Wave 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, to let you know from my perspective, again, just being introduced to everything as it's happening. People, when you were collecting the figures back then, we didn't have to think, oh, we need it from Filmation as well. Because we had the cartoon, but we had the toys to where when you were waiting for new stuff, when there was new shit, you'd lose it. And when these figures came out, and when you're seeing the commercials of them, you're like, holy fuck, you're super giddy for them. So, yeah, when you finally got them, bought them, you embraced them and loved them. And, yeah, goddamn, I just love looking at King Kiss. God, I love the art on the back, how he's looking just so happy, relaxed, and bam, you see the transformation. But it was one of the coolest goddamn gimmicks. It's like you felt like you had two figures, well, as you can see there, 2 for 1. I love that, and yeah, as an adult now I'm like, oh, I wish the head would have turned, but as a kid, no, you looked past that. You looked past everything. You just bought that gimmick hook, line, and sinker. But no, I mean, everybody was hyped. Anytime some new figures came out, and then for fuck's sake, Rat Lord, the Strike. Yeah, I mean, I'll stop because I'm going to start just rambling like crazy. But no, Everybody fucking loved them. They were so goddamn cool, and the gimmicks were amazing, and they were great looking figures, of course, too.
Well, Tyler, what about you and your history? Because yours is way different with Joe. Because we're finding these things in clearance bins, or you're discovering characters for the first time, seeing other kids have them, and wondering, well, what is this? Where did that come from?
I will say, fortunately, I got all 3 of the original Snake Man at Hills.
Hell yeah.
This would have been around the time that my brother had been born, because I'll never forget. My granny was taking me to Hills probably right before my brother was born, and her car broke down. And I remember that was the first time I ever rode in a tow truck. And she still took me, after we got the car fixed, she still took me to Hills to get me a He-Man figure. And that He-Man figure was Tongue Lasher. And I never forgot that memory. I remember the house we stopped at to walk down and call a tow truck and everything, and knowing that, like, even through all that, like, she still took me to go get a He-Man figure. And then I would get Rattler and King Hiss, and I remember taking them up to my mama's house and scaring her with Rattler and Tongue Lasher as action features. I just remember, because it didn't take much to scare her, so I just would hold the figure up to her like this, and just, the head would strike at her, or the tongue would flick out, and I had so much fun playing with them. And I often found, like, the action feature on Rattler's back, like, the button hard to push to get the head to pop out sometimes, because I don't know, it just didn't, it wasn't like eventually it did get, a lot easier, but with King Hiss, I was fascinated with the snakes inside the body. Like, it was almost grotesque, but you couldn't take your eyes away from it as well. So I was fascinated with them. I thought they were so cool. And Snake Face, Squeeze, I had no idea. Other than Squeeze was the only one I was aware of, probably around 88. When I got the Legends of Grayskull, the Power of Grayskull Legend Begins mini comic. I had no idea who he was, because he's not name checked in the book, in that mini comic. So for years, Squeeze, which is why, still to this day, he's my favorite Snake Man. I had such an affinity for that character more than any of them. I love the look. I want to have Ren illustrate all these Snake Men together in one nice, like, illustration at some point as well. But I think they're an undervalued, underappreciated faction in Master of the Universe. And knowing what was coming with the Powers of Grayskull and the importance of the Snake Men, it's just heartbreaking that they were going to have a lot more to do in the series before it was canceled.
I had my Squeeze in the same pose that I've had since a kid, still on that shelf, with like this S pose with his arms for Squeeze. But yeah, my favorite, no doubt, was Snake Face. God damn, I ate that gimmick up, hook, line, and sinker, but he looks so fucking creepy. He is my favorite. Yeah, Snake Face is my favorite.
If I had seen him, because I was such a Medusa fanatic from Clash of the Titans, if I had seen him, there's a good chance he might have become my favorite, because I was nuts for Medusa, and I had no idea about him until probably the mid-90s is when I learned about Snake Face.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have the internet back then, and of course, as Filmation only lasted X amount of time before it goes into syndication, these figures are also coming out sort of after the fact. Obviously, there's a part of you that's hoping anytime you catch one of these that maybe the Snake Men will show up.
I remember, I did have thoughts about a lot of like, and I mean, I would rent tapes, hoping that a certain character would be in, and not knowing that it would, that character really wouldn't show up till much later on. So it was a big deal to stumble upon any characters that weren't, like, Man-at-Arms and Beastman in every episode. But when I did see Tongue Lasher, like a picture of him on the internet, and like the old days of He-Man websites, I thought, that's Tongue Lasher? But Rattler looked just like the toy. I'm like, holy shit, this is just kind of, odd. But I'm like, I'll take it.
No, you were right. Sitting there just waiting. Like, I do remember waiting for all the new episodes to come out. And sure, you would always hope some of the new figures that you got would pop up. So anytime they did, you got super hyped. Like, I remember the first time when I seen Buzz-Off and Mechaneck, it's like, holy shit, Buzz-Off and Mechaneck. Like, anytime you see him, it's like, what the fuck? So you wanted more and more. And yeah, it kind of was, heartbreaking that we didn't get more of those characters. But for what we got, it was still cool.
Well, and just seeing them in any kind of media, that was enough to whet my appetite. But you just kept hoping, like, when you would stumble upon an episode or see pictures on the back of a VHS, like, well, what is it? What episode is that from? Like on the back of the Betrayal of Stratos and Other Adventures VHS, it's 2 pictures from the episode Island of Fear, and they weren't, that episode's not featured on that tape, but that was just an incident of like, what episode is this from? Yeah. There's two shots, and I would wonder about like when I would see that ad for He-Man: The Legend Continues, that beautiful painting that was in comic strips and comics back in the '80s. And you'd see Stridor, Roboto, Cyclone, and Mossman on one side, Webstor, Too Bad, and Whiplash on the other. Like, oh my God, like they're featured in episodes? Like, it was just learning about these things, even when you're a kid, that, holy shit, this stuff actually happened. How do I find it? So, searching video stores and all that stuff. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole. So.
With Ren, though, now I know he's not a real Master Universe fan, but still, do you remember Ren collecting any of these fucking figures or wanting stuff in the cartoon, you fake fan? But what about
my little brother had he had Snakeface and he had King Hiss, and we didn't get any of the other ones. I personally didn't like any of the gimmicks. I didn't like any of the Snake Man.
I am shocked.
Really? Then. I really thought you would have dug them. I essentially like that old lady from Princess Bride there, Deuce. Is that what you're saying?
You know what's crazy? I have all of them now except for Squeeze.
The best one.
But I don't have them. Displayed at all.
Why the hell not?
Because I think I got them at some point in time a couple of years ago when I was really, really just buying everything that I wanted that I didn't have, and I think I got them in a lot somewhere, and they're in a bin with the majority of my extra He-Man figures.
Can we just boot him off the fucking episode? What are you doing here? Jesus
that I
Christ.
now don't have room for because I moved to Virginia and don't have a basement anymore. So, but I don't think I would. Listen, I wouldn't have posted the Snake Man up anyway.
You need to donate them to a good cause, then, Ren.
Yeah. I'm gonna donate some of the parts to new figures.
No! Don't be like Joe Amato and butcher them.
Because I've already King Hiss's legs have already gone to another figure. Because I really like the way his legs have the layering. So I cut the boots off and I added different boots to another figure, and I'll show you guys that another day.
Why are we letting him talk still? What the fuck is going on?
Hey, you do the exact same thing, Joe.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
Yeah. Plus, Joe, you're the one that was like, "Oh, and Ren, what about you?" And the Snake Man.
Yeah.
So see,
this is a mood killer, but keep going.
Listen, you sneak in my room and rub my ass, you get.
I guess you're right. I'll give it to you.
So Tyler was talking about other media. So when it comes with Filmation and the figures and the disparities there, not seeing anybody, to then when you start to get a magazine and notice these posters.
Yeah, Yeah, and I didn't learn about the posters until my friend Matt Hilton said he had a friend that he went to school with who had posters, which was the Earl Norm movie poster, the one of He-Man fighting Blade and the Grayskull Court, and that's how I learned that there was a magazine. And seeing these images on He-Man.org back in the day, and then hunting on eBay when eBay started up, looking for every magazine I could get my hands on, because I just would sit at the computer and just look at these images and just get lost in the battles that were going on. And this one in particular, first I just got Clam Champion. I had to have it because it's got Clam Champion in it. But then Squeeze and Ninjor, Blast Attack, Snake Face in Pre-Eternia. It's subdued, but there's a Brontosaurus in the background and a volcano. So yeah, they're in Pre-Eternia, and I'm like, that's just it's unbelievable. So it's a masterpiece. That's a story in itself.
Yeah,
it
is. You can do a mini comic just off the.
You're right. I mean, they tell stories. That was what was so amazing about that art. And I waited every month for a new magazine, and I hung every poster, unfortunately, on my wall with tape, so they all got ripped corners when I took them down, but they stayed up there all the way until I moved years ago. But that's a creepy ass fucking king is. I love that look at that.
That's vicious.
God damn.
I remember this was the first magazine that I bought, and when I bought it, the poster was not intact, and that was my first lesson of learning: is the poster intact? Or ask the seller, is the poster included with it?
Mm-hmm.
What was fucked up with the one that you've seen of that? What was messed up on it?
Well, the poster wasn't included. I got the magazine, but the poster wasn't intact. Sucks. And I remember this was the summer before my senior year, and I was just spending lawnmower money or allowance money on eBay. And I remember buying that, and my mom would pick me up. I'd drive her over to her house to either mow her lawn or neighbors' lawns and start making money. And then she'd drop me back off at my dad's house, and I'd go back on eBay looking for He-Man. Anything He-Man. And then
you got to go out and get a money order.
Yeah, go out and get. Yeah, I would go and get a money order, and then sometimes walk down to the local post office if I happened to be at my mom's house and make the guy get up who wasn't doing jack shit all day. And
poster with that one. Oh God, you must felt like you got kicked in the dick.
I was so disappointed with that because I framed all of them. I mean, I framed every one that I got. I still have some framed right now. I couldn't frame all of them.
Yeah.
But those posters, I was on a mission to get every one of them, and I'm still missing one of them, I think. But they were. It was. I mean, the energy that those posters brought to me, like it was. Like I would. This is. It's just not to get another rant about the modern shit, but like when people like to either make fun of He-Man or feel like it's lame, I'm like, you guys aren't seeing anything, and you show them these beautiful paintings of He-Man getting ready to kick some ass, and the villains look like they would tear your heart out, literally and physically.
The other difference, Tyler, I noticed with like things from this in the past, which beyond telling a story, they looked intense. They looked like they were ready to fight. Compared to sometimes I've noticed with modern posters, and I think you and I had a discussion years ago about it. They almost look like they're posing them, like they're just looking for at the camera or off. It's like, what's going on? What is happening in the scene? It looks lifeless with the shit that's going on nowadays.
It's a stupid modern mentality where every character has to have a clearly visible face, which leads to completely illogical composition.
Absolutely.
You have posing where it looks like they're walking in air or they're about to fall. It's just moronic.
There's no dynamics to it, and I feel like in a lot of the modern posters that were put out probably in the last 10 years of He-Man, it clearly looked like the artist just grabbed classic figures from the classic.
And that did happen with some.
And they were just painting the figures as opposed to painting a scene. Like I look at Earl Norem, who made a completely brand new, beautiful world in every individual painting. There was nothing copied. The poses were all different, from the villains to the heroes. It was he knew how to set a scene, and I'm sure Ren can look at this and appreciate. Same thing with Deucin, is that this does not look like a vintage He-Man figure that was sitting on my local hills. This is a dynamic pose of He-Man getting to sling that battle axe. And you don't get that in modern work anymore.
It gives you a taste of what live-action version might be.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah, very much so. This He-Man looks alive. King Hiss looks alive.
Real.
Yeah, looks very real. And the fog, just like knowing that the other three are standing in the fog, and there's a bunch of big-ass snakes coming at He-Man on the ground with the fog. I mean, little touches like that. It's all about atmosphere. And when you're a child looking at this stuff, it's so intense. Like you want to see your heroes take on the worst of the worst, because the worst of the worst
and
always
William
looks
George
the coolest.
they'd always add those extra little touches and creatures and things, just bringing everything to life. But Dushin, I guess we didn't ask you, when was your introduction to the Snake Man with the toys, cartoon, and everything? What were your thoughts?
Oh, very early on, because we got over here. We got the line when the live-action movie premiered over here. So that was like somewhere in 1988, but the line was on sale for years. So I got to phone conscious memories of seeing the figures. So I got to see a friend with a snake face figure, and it was fucking awesome, right?
God, I envy you.
And I got the in the comics we got like I missed the initial year of the comics, which consisted out of Marvel Star Comics, but the following year was all Ehapa Comics from Germany, and those every now and then featured the Snake Man, and like Tyler said about Squeeze, like he instantly grabs your attention. He looks cool. His color scheme is absolutely really eye catching.
Yes, it is very much. I'm glad you said that. You're very good about describing certain things that I have a hard time. It is a very see, I can't even talk now. Eye catching color scheme. I apologize for cutting you off there. Bro.
Well, I mean, not only eye catching, but just the arms. Like it looks different compared to the other vintage figures.
For example, in one issue, there's a story about Evelyn putting Man-at-Arms under a love spell, so he falls in love with her and he rushes to Snake Mountain to rescue her. And then Skeletor stages orders his warriors to pretend to try to stop him, because the whole thing is to lure him into a trap. And one of the warriors is Squeeze, because often in these comics the Snake Men are allied with Skeletor. And there's a page where Squeeze tries to grab Man-at-Arms, and it looks so fantastic.
Which I don't have any of those images, but one thing about the Snake Men is they were used prominently in content in the UK, other countries. They utilize the Snake Men way more. Like here with the posters, we only have these two posters, Snake Men wise, and that is it. There is, however, I did save this one from Mad Duck, just because I saw them here, and I guess I kind of wanted to get everyone's. Well, Joe automatically hates it because Stratos is in it, but what do you guys what do you think of this?
There's no light. It's just here.
Yeah,
I'm Pope.
very flat.
There's nothing to it. I don't feel this poster at all. There's nothing to it except just fucking trying to be eye candy, which doesn't even work like that.
No, I think all the poses are flat. The emotions are flat. I mean, this to me came off like a poster that was just like the guy was given a bunch of figures. Probably not that familiar with it, or if he is, I don't know. The giveaway, Tyler, is because of that Snake Warrior in the background. That's the dead giveaway. Yeah.
Is that random Snake Warrior? So it's like, so he had the classic figures or something. So yeah, that's the giveaway.
I was so impressed, and what was disheartening is that most of the Mad Duck posters that came out, Axel did a phenomenal job on the ones that he worked on, and Emiliano did an awesome one too. But for the most part, all these other artists, they just lacked it. They were very flatlined. There was one other artist who did a couple of interesting pieces. I forgot what his name was, but for the most part, I was very disappointed with the artists that were working on the He-Man posters. I mean, it was bad enough they were expensive as hell.
Could you actually get this off the screen? I really hate
this.
Poster.
I want to get Ren's thoughts.
Yeah, I'd be curious what Ren and Deucen think about this.
I mean, honestly, the layers are bad visually, like the foreground, midground, and background. You can tell it's completely digital, like it's almost like a cut and paste.
Yes, very
Fizzle's
much.
arm is kind of weird, and I was looking at Squeeze. He's grabbing Clampchamp's leg. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't shade it very well.
Yeah.
No.
So it's kind of bothering me. And so everything's so separated. Like he made each figure separate, which is fine. But when he put it together, he didn't blend anything.
Yeah.
As far as the separation between, say, Fisto and that'd be Tongue Lasher. So that they're almost on the same plane, and then Snakeface is right up against Fisto, but he's supposed to be foreground from him. So it's a lot of it's bothering me.
All right, we'll take that.
What about
We'll
the
take
hand?
that
And you
shit
even
off.
notice that the hand was even gone with Squeeze. Like maybe they just gave up. Like fuck it.
Yeah,
When
when
he
he was wrapped around and he just gave it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Deuce,
was like, is he grabbing it or is he wrapping it?
yeah. And I mean that's kind of a sign that it's just kind of yeah.
It was a very well. I don't know if the guy.
It was a job.
Yeah,
Were you
I
gonna
think-
do
I
it
think
in
that's
his
what it
thought
was.
Artist,
on it,
you
you
could tell
said?
that was a job. He didn't have any passion.
Well, I saw that Deucin had put up something on his end, so I was gonna go ahead and solo lay out him because I think he had that image up that he was talking about not too long ago.
Okay.
Well, put it up there, man. Come on. What are you waiting
let's
on?
go. What are you doing?
Check your private messages because I figure it's best for you to
Oh.
show it because you can zoom it.
I have so many things open. All right, there we go. I'll save it. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I gotta open it up. And open. There we go. Now I'm doing the Joe thing. All right. And what is
Look
this
at that
from?
fantastic art.
You said this is German?
Yeah, it's
EHAPA.
originally made in Germany by EHAPA, which, by the way, the Germans are right now reprinting in high quality.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully someday we could get a proper English translation of those, like English.
That'd be nice.
So how do I
Edition.
get one in the one of the high definition ones? I don't care if it's in German or not. I'd actually rather it be if I can get out.
I'm gonna try to find a link later.
Okay.
Now, Dushin, was this one of the ones they translated in the UK and messed up the translation?
Yeah, in UK they pretty much made up a new dialogue for some reason. Like they didn't really bother to translate, whereas over here when we got those comics, we got the proper translation.
Oh, okay, good.
So like in the last panel, you can see Squeeze looking badass. He got his ass kicked, but there he looks badass.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
is
I mean.
I just like seeing him used prominently. Like I always wanted to see so much more of Squeeze. And I'm glad that at least in 2000X he was used okay. You know, they play up the Anaconda aspect, which was a nice touch. But definitely
I
when
prefer when he has normal hands instead of snake.
well, I mean, yeah,
hands.
that they could have
That's
done
weird.
without. I don't. Go ahead, Ren.
No, I'm doing Squeeze's hands. That's how
The
Oh.
three fingers thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like the sound that they gave him, like the anaconda squeal. You know that noise that Right, yeah, there he is, right there. Like the designs
Those
of the
look cool
2000X
now.
Men, like I liked all the designs, but as we have said before in this old podcast, they built them up so strong, and then they pulled the rug out from underneath them and made them all look like pussies in the next episode.
Well, that's what I was going to touch on as we move on from the vintage figures and the media involved with the UK stories, which they're featured way more in than anything we got here. Now we come to MYP, and here could be their time to shine. They're featured very prominently in season 2, so much in fact that I guess they. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did they? I know it was on the packaging. Did they also change the name a little bit in the intro to?
Yes.
Yes.
Versus
Yeah.
the Snake Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Complete
did all
with
that.
the narrator that made it sound like a commercial.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
not like it.
But
Well,
for some
definitely
reason,
talking about
for some reason, nobody labels the 2000X cartoon as a toy commercial. Like, funny that.
Yeah, and it was
Isn't that weird?
very toy commercial centric. I mean, it was. It wasn't shy about it either. But
And it came when it came to the toys too, because that goddamn packaging, all those variants, and that really was fucked up.
Yeah.
But especially that goddamn Snake Crush Skeletor.
We'll get to that. Well, yeah, we'll get.
Fisto,
I'll
the Snake Man thing, yeah.
We'll get to that. But overall, here, Obviously,
Badass.
It could have been better overall, I guess.
Yeah.
But did you guys, for the most part, enjoy their portrayal in this cartoon?
I
They
did.
made them punks.
Yeah. I mean, I liked them so much that I actually ended up getting these figures and the Stactions for.
I'll show those
for
off
the
as well.
Snake Man ones.
Which I think Squeeze. I've met in box over here. I actually bought it at a convention years. It's the only one I have on display right now.
Breathtaking fucking Stactions. I'm looking at them right now, all of them in front of me. God damn, do I love those Stactions.
Let's because Tyler and I always debate on this. So, Cobra Khan here ends up being a part of the Snake Men.
They just went with.
I know, but so we're at that point. Do you consider overall Cobra Khan as
Evil Warrior?
All right,
Evil Warrior.
Deucin?
Snake Man, because look, that's how he got retroactively changed into a Snake Man when King Hiss came about. Because the thing that people don't really know is that King Hiss came quite late. Like you have Rattler and Tongue Lasher, who actually predate King Hiss and thus predated the faction of Snake Man. That's why Filmation put them under the Horde.
So
Well, I like that. Well, see, I like that storyline of like that. You know, when King Hiss was banished, Rattler and Tongue Lasher were left behind and joined the ranks of the Horde. Like, I like that idea, but they are diehard Snake Men. Whereas
pretty much featured in the newspaper strips when
But-
King
and
Hiss gives them grief for joining the Horde.
Well, and I like that because I like that it ties in the idea that if you're a kid watching the She-Ra cartoon, you see Tongue Lasher and Rattler as part of the what this makes no sense. But if you read the mini comic, you could almost like read the King of the Snake Man mini comic after you watched She-Ra. I'm like, oh, so this happened after the events of She-Ra. But with Cobra Khan, I look to that one mini comic, King of the Snake Man, where Skeletor says, "Be my spy. I want you to join them."
Depends on when you saw the episode. If you saw the episode on time, then you wouldn't be thinking that because the toys weren't out yet.
True.
I'm kind of lost. I'm not being silly.
In the cartoon, and then the toys came out.
Yeah.
Well, but for me, but how I saw it though. But to me though,
That's the point, because it depends on when you got to see it. If you after the toys came out, then you would have that thought that it doesn't make sense. But if you saw them before the toys came out, then you wouldn't question it.
Well, I guess I still don't follow it. I guess I'm having a hard time.
You're giving him the Venmo over here. He doesn't know what to
do. I'm just saying, like, if you saw the cartoon first, it made more sense. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, if you saw the cartoon first, then it made more sense. But if you saw the toys first, then you would question it. Then you would.
Well, and I did have some questions because I saw. You know, Cobra Khan, I got the toy first and then saw him in the animated series. The Snake Man, I got the toys first and then years later would see them as members of the Horde. But I can appreciate that you can kind of make it all work, though, that Cobra Khan is a temporary member of the Snake Man only because he's a spy for Skeletor, not because he is a Snake Man descendant of the Snake Men. He is a Snake Man, I think it makes the world too small if Cobra Khan is just immediately part of the Snake Man. I like the idea that, then you could really play up the idea that King Hiss, he's smart too. His whole point is to take over Snake Mountain and destroy Skeletor. Obviously, probably aware that one of Skeletor's men is just going to join with me, and I'm just going to trust him like that. Like, so you could play that up so much, though.
I kind of get it that Tyler and Joe's perspective is more seeing it as Cobra Khan is more of just his own man. Well,
I see him as he is loyal to Skeletor. Yeah. Ultimately, like that's where he got his start, and I've often pictured him as one of the few that Skeletor genuinely respects. Like he doesn't make cheap shots at Cobra Khan. Like, he's one of the few that he would probably bring into the council chamber and would talk to him man to man in a very serious manner. You know, just because he's a very intelligent. He's always portrayed as one of the more intelligent evil warriors anyway. And I always saw him as a threatening character. So that's why I feel like he felt like he could trust Cobra Khan to join the ranks. But obviously, you know, would be pitted against between the two of them. King would try to welcome, like, you know, knowing full well you're working for Skeletor, but I wanted to show you, like, if you gave up your allegiance to him, how good you could have it being a member of the Snake Man permanently. Like, when I take over, you're with me. You don't go and tell him, you know, what I'm really planning. I mean, just really play off the intelligence that, like, and then, like Nathan said, making Cobra Khan become his own man. Like, well, I really could take these to my full advantage. Which side do I choose, or do I just pit these two against each other, have them destroy each other, and I take over Snake Mountain? You know, something like that.
But I did. I had him, like I said, I always consider him an evil warrior. But admittedly, as a kid, I did aesthetically like posing him with the Snake Man. He looked cool to pose on my shelf. And I think so much so with the whole thing about, hey, could he be a Snake Man? We know that, remember, with the Top Toys version when they made Camo Con, they made him officially a Snake Man with the package and everything, and give him a little different design and the emblem on the actual figure. But yeah, I guess it's, you know, whatever people want to choose. You know, you do whatever the hell you want.
Now, I'm fine with, like, if they wanted to, if the mythology not written by Scott Nylick or Rob David or anybody else, but like if the character, the idea of Camo Con is a descendant of the Snake Man, you know, and make him an actual Snake Man himself. Like, I'm cool with that concept, but there's no connection to Cobra Khan at all. They're using the same mold and using Bozov's hands, of course, but I'm like, there's no connection to the Cobra Khan character.
But overall, here with MYP, everyone felt, for the most part, or they did all right by him.
Well, no, because the second part, you know, they come in and they get taken out immediately in the second part, and then it's like, okay, why are they a threat? We were told before the season 2 even aired that the Snake Men are coming. They're going to be the dominant, you know, evil faction in season 2, and when they're taken out immediately by the overpowering generic Zodak, you know, like, he's not the Cosmic Enforcer, he's just a guy with a which I was cool with him having an axe to grind against King Hiss for eating his brother. Like, I get all that, but when they're just taken out like that, like, it's no problem in the second episode. They come in, take over Snake Mountain, turn everyone to stone, Merman falls apart, like, holy shit, is he dead?
I remember
and, like,
that.
No.
Dismissed it all.
Dismissed it all. And, like, you're not getting the Snake Men over at all in the second part when he throws King Hiss down into the abyss of Grayskull, and then all the Snake Men just jump in after him.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then they disappear for about an hour. Yeah, nothing happened after that. They were no longer a threat.
So then when you bring them back, you're just like, well, you know.
What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, remember, they always felt like people wanted to say that the Snake Men, when it came to an MYP cartoon, and then how the toys are being marketed, and back then in, you know, the 80s, they're like, yeah, they're kind of the fall of Master Universe, which I don't agree with, and I hate when people say it.
I don't either. Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
They just, you know, they could have introduced Wave 7 with Scareglow, Clamptrap, and Ninjor, and Wave 6, and gave us the Snake Man at the end. It wouldn't have mattered. Like, the sales for He-Man, they hit their peak in 85.
It just happened.
And it just happens. It has nothing to do with what was coming out. If anything, the line was just getting better and better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know,
I loved it. But we will get to, I guess, some of these 2000X figures. I'm assuming that's what you're going to do, Nathan, and show some of these weird shit ones along with some good ones.
It's going to be kind of an overview, and I can click on some. We can kind of, like, enlarge them a little bit. It'll be a little different because I was kind of, admittedly, a little strapped for time during the week, working longer hours.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
But rapid fire, because I didn't save those images, but the Snake Men appearing in vintage mini comics. Which stories are they included into? We can tell everybody at home, that way they could seek those out if they'd like.
King of the Snake Men, Revenge of the Snake Men, Snake Attack, which is probably arguably the best of the Snake Men mini comics, is by far. Bruce Timm illustrated it. It's got one of the coolest illustrations I've ever seen of Skeletor to this day. In that opening panel of him like brooding in the council chamber with King Hiss holding a crystal ball, like watching He-Man. You know, like they're all thinking about how we're going to destroy this hero. I just love how Bruce Timm illustrated Skeletor on that, and
Powers of Grayskull.
Powers of Grayskull is featured in that one also. Yeah.
And I think
and the Rotar and Twistor mini comic.
Slightly. Energy's always.
Energy's always God. Yeah.
And I want to.
That's a bad mini comic. I mean that's up. I mean it's not as bad as Cosmic Key, but it's bad.
I want to say that we have covered the vast majority, if not all of those, on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think we have covered King of the Snake
We were
Man.
talking about Cosmic Key because that was so fucking short. Like,
we did do that a while back, and I want to say I thought like a goal of ours. I think one thing I threw out to Nathan. This was like several months back, like back in the winter, I think, was that I wanted us to make the Cosmic Key mini comic one that we all come together and like. How do we make it a good mini comic?
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Like how we deal with the fastest draw in the universe. Like, how do we make this bad mini comic?
More than 5? Was it 5 fucking pages or 6?
5
Isn't it
pages.
just
I think 6.
What is that? An Origins mini comic?
Yeah, that's probably why they thought, hey, we could do that. They did it back in the 80s. No one complained about it back then. Rob Galen, I love it. Promote that man. I want to see you in office at the end of my hallway at the end of the month.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Here we go. This comes from Figure Realm. So this is the Snake Men wave. So we had other waves prior to this, and I'll kind of click on stuff. Let's see. Let's just.
I'm having a resort to buying from a store overseas.
Let's do this. So you can see here on the packaging.
That's not the packaging.
Yeah, we got to deal with the ads on this. So you
Battle
see
Fist.
Master Universe versus Snake Men. Yeah, so we talked about this before when it came to.
And see, his weapon has the Snake Man logo on it.
Yeah.
And they did that
he's got a clamp
on his arm or
Snake Man clamp.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, but that weapon belongs to somebody else.
Somebody else, yes.
So we have Buzz Off here. Just general. All right.
Yeah. There were so many copyright issues with the names, and what was so weird too is that Mattel was putting so much more emphasis on the Snake Man line, and yet these toys were dumped because the sales had dropped, and they pretty much sent them all overseas, other than a couple of small retail outlets in the States.
Aldi's, I remember that. I remember when it was advertised that Aldi's was getting them. Holy shit! My dad got them for me when I was at work. Got the whole wave of it. I was happier than shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I was quite upset about that because I didn't want the variants, but I needed to have King Hiss, Cobra Khan, Rattler, and Fisto.
And all that horrible fucking Snake Crush Skeletor, though, that fake ass squeeze, because it was probably intended that we were gonna get squeezed, but then never happened. But thank God we got the Staction.
Look at that!
What a piece of shit!
That is garbage. That's some hot garbage. Jesus Christ!
What is that supposed to be?
What's that?
It's some weird snake arm.
You never? Yeah, it was supposed to be basically
it looks like
squeeze.
Skeletor has an allegiance with the Snake Man. It doesn't look like he's out to kill the Snake Man. It looks like he's a member of the Snake Man.
Like, because you know how like this, Squeeze obviously in the cartoon and the Staction, like you said, he has those heads that a lot of people aren't fans of. Well, they try to do it with this shit. Oh my fucking God! It is. I mean, I got him right over here. Oh, that's a.
And his head is underneath that snake.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
with,
it is.
With the hood
and what's
and
weird, they've already done a Snake Armor Skeletor in that shitty 2-pack with Wolf Armor He-Man, Target exclusive.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's awful.
And that shitty variant there, Cyclone.
The regular. I've got the regular one. He won't stand up with shit.
I'm surprised at looking at this stuff. It's like released in 2004. In my mind, I'm like, man, I didn't think the line was still going at that time.
Well, it was. They kept saying like it did well, and more figures are coming out. And then before this came out, and Mattel was all over the season 2. That's why we had so many shitty episodes. I mean, make sure like the Spit Bull was introduced and all these other shitty storylines.
Oh
yeah. And
do you at least have the beauty of the Stactions though, Nathan? Can you at least show the beauty?
I do.
Yeah, show the Stactions, man.
And get the bad taste out of our mouth for that fucking figure.
At least the Horsemen did get to finish the job with the Snake Men. God bless them.
And boy, did they do! And they
oh
did
my God, yeah, Snakeface fucking rocked in that line.
I think that's the one I don't have.
No,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I do have. I mean, I was so excited because these would come out around Christmas time. I felt like a couple of years, and I would use my Christmas bonus money to buy all the stactions that had come out at that time. It was so much fun buying these when they were coming out. Oh, it was so exciting.
The way they look, man.
Oh God,
amazing.
So good.
I gotta scroll.
Squeeze.
Oh,
yeah,
he's fucking awesome.
God, yeah,
Got
he's
that
awesome.
one.
Even with the hands, like I'm like the horseman. The horseman made it look
If he had
cool.
better hands, this would be really cool looking. But
Yeah.
with those hands, it's just stupid. Like
Yeah.
he has claws on top of them. It's just like, what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, it's overkill. It's
Still-
just like trying to
Yeah.
be too extreme with it, and this tongue lasher
This
was massive. in
monster,
person.
he's a
God.
monster.
He
He's
is
almost.
big.
I think he's bigger than Clawful just by a bit. They're the two, and of course Leech is a fucking just humongous.
Yeah,
son of a bitch, but-
leeches. Yeah,
Yeah, but
But damn.
looking like this, he looks like a frog.
Yeah, well, you know how some people even thought, like, hey, that's the original tongue lasher frog, because look at the tongue comes out and he's got.
You know it's bad. You know it's
thing.
bad if Joe's using his voice.
Oh yeah. Well, people used to say that. He's a frog. Oh, this was a disappointment. We were supposed to have a Faker
Yeah.
Cobra Con 2-pack, and god damn, it never happened. I still wish somehow the Horsemen would be able to release these. They probably still got the molds. God damn.
It didn't come.
Now,
Nope.
No, we didn't get them. It was going to be a 2-pack of him with Faker. So all we were left with was the shitty in-house Mattel version of Cobra Con, correct? Because that wasn't the Four
yeah,
Horsemen,
that
was
was
it?
it. And boy,
Yeah.
it sucked. It,
Yeah,
it-
see,
when you-
the Mattel version had the hood open.
It did,
It
but
was
it was from an outside company. It wasn't the Horseman.
Ass. It was
sold somewhere.
ass.
I don't know who the hell it was. Yeah, which is kind of what they're doing right now. Then they reach out to the Horseman. Hey, would you mind, sculpting this? We're kind of behind here, so they have one great-looking figure amongst a bunch of shitty ones. So they haven't learned the lesson yet.
So
All we ever do is complain on this podcast. We're
So-
a bunch of,
so
Debbie Downers, negative Nancy's.
once we got NYP and we got the Stactions and we got those figures, I don't have images from these, but I wanted to ask because I know Deucen's probably checked all this stuff out. I know the two of you have read some of the stuff in between. The materials that the comics that would come out that we kind of had around the time between this and the Classics line coming out. Were the Snake Men featured in any of those stories? And if so, what?
Yeah.
What did they
Well,
do in the
I
story?
remember because we talked to Val about this a while back too. Is that when him and Emiliano were running the comic book line, they were forced by Mattel to pretty much when they introduced the Snake Men to just do a version of the 2-part episode. Like, we can't do our own story. No, we want you to do the 2-part episode in comic book form. Everything that happens in that episode, you do it in comic book form, and it
That
looks
seems
fucking
redundant.
terrible. Yeah, and the artwork was ugly as shit. It wasn't Emiliano doing the artwork either. So that was like, okay, this is fucking pointless. And then when they brought into the main line, there were some fun ideas that that they got to do. But I don't think a lot of the stories got. I think there was some more ideas that never got expanded upon. Like Enza Fontana, was that the other artist's name, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe's very subdued and serious now.
No.
But yeah, I think she did. I believe if I'm saying that right. Yeah. She did a really good job with the artwork as well. But I don't remember the stories getting to do because it was Val and Mallet they had such handcuffs on them. They couldn't tell a whole lot of stories they wanted to tell. So the images, it was more about getting those books for the artwork because Val couldn't tell the kind of stories he wanted to tell. And they were just kind of these kind of random stories at the very end when the Snake Men were introduced. It wasn't like an arc, but the second arc that we're going to do had like the Faker world, where Man-at-Arms goes to another dimension, comes back and says that He-Man's taken over, that he's gone nuts, he's crazy, and it's Faker. But they couldn't do it, and they were going to introduce the Horde as well. Mattel put the kibosh on that.
This is just getting me angry.
Kibosh.
Yeah, and it was just like they got in a lot of trouble for doing the Power of Fear comic that features Scareglow, and that was supposed to be to raise money for charity, and they got in a lot of shit, over that.
Was it
So,
the Dream
I'm sure
Halloween special or something?
Yeah. And I know I was happy for them that they got to work on it, but it sounds like there were so many problems because Mattel They had their fingers in everything, and they kept fucking up everything back then. And you know what? Not much has changed. You know, they still they want to bring in people who may be qualified or want to do a great job, and they won't allow them to do it. You know, because Rod David's got to come along, and you know, he's got to insert his bullshit ideas and all these other guys. The same story, never changes, which is why we continue to the podcast. You know what? If we can't do anything about it, we can at least talk about what a good idea would be. Maybe we'll get Ren to illustrate it for us, or maybe we get Deucin to animate it for us.
I think Deucin's kind of done with animating anything for the rest of his life.
Yeah, you never know anymore.
Deucin, how do you feel about that straight up right now? We ask you like, hey, animate. Can you animate?
Yeah, it'll just take like 5 years or so.
Hey, where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. But
you nearly died of COVID just recently.
So. But I won't allow my soul to leave this planet until I see the Snakeman animated in filmation style.
Yeah. So then Tyler's sitting there.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh well, I was getting to it. Yeah, Tyler bit.
Yeah.
All right. One thing I'm gonna bring up here, and we'll kind of take a break between our little timeline. Let's talk about Blast Attack, because we haven't mentioned Blast Attack at all.
We have not. Yeah.
And Blast Attack is kind of a cause for contention of some people. Do you consider Blast Attack?
I consider him a Snake Man fully. I mean, we got every faction that has some type of robot. Hey, shut your dick! Let me talk. I'm gonna kick you right in. I'm gonna kick you in your Yugoslavian penis.
Well, hang on. All right. I mute Joe. Deucin. Why? Well, Deucin, why do you?
He's gone all crazy Italian on us now.
Why do you consider Blast Attack?
Oh, he's pouting.
Not a Snake Man.
But for the thing is that in this comic book, he's a complete mechanical creation. He's an android built to kind of resemble Snake Man, but he's a machine first and foremost. He is not a living thing here. In fact, if you look at the dialogue, he's all like, take, me, listen, this, do this, whatever. He's not a living being there. Now, in Star Comics, he's a living being there, and he's most definitely not a Snake Man there. And I like that version, by the way.
I think that most of it kind of comes from the fact that Blast Attack aligns himself more, or is positioned to be aligned with the Snake Man. I don't think it's a thing of like, yes, that's a Snake Man, because obviously it's not. As you said, it's an android. But if you have this figure and you are displaying them like with classics, for example, and you have certain shelves dedicated. Joe's still muted, by the way. You have certain shelves dedicated to each of the factions. If you have a Blast Attack, I have my Blast Attack with the Snake Man. Tyler,
the Warriors.
Yep.
All the way.
Yep. Blast Attack's right over here, right behind Snake Face, next to Fangor. I could see why. Like, I get Deucin's perspective on that though, because I felt like when he came along, it does feel like, in the mini comic Revenge of the Snake Man, he's thrown in because he's one of the newer figures. Just throw him in there.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that the Snake Men also have a robot of their own. The Horde has a robot. Skeletor has a robot. Or robots. So why shouldn't? Plus, the Snake Men like people who are willing to sacrifice themselves for them. And Blast Attack is a suicide bomber. I can see him, going into battle and blowing himself up to take out other people in the name of the Snake Men. So a robot that's willing to sacrifice himself for the Snake Man, I think it's a perfect idea.
Speaking of someone that's about to tick and blow up, there.
Yeah.
Calm down, Joe.
Let's get Ren's opinion on that of Blast Attack.
Man, Blast Attack is trash, man. Let's get it over.
Oh my god,
he's a stupid character, man. Like, what is he there for? Like, honestly, I never paid any attention to Blast Attack. I don't know anything about Blast Attack.
So what I just described, the character doesn't work for you at all? That he's like a suicide bomber?
No. Because honestly, I wouldn't have known he was a Snake Man or not, because by that time
aligned with the Snake Man.
the line was so gone when I was a kid that once I got my clamp champ, I didn't look at anything behind that. So and I wasn't into the Snake Man, so I was lost on Blast Attack. I didn't even know he was a character or whatever. So I didn't bother with him, and he's a stupid looking character as well. now that I'm looking at Joe.
He's pulling a Danny DeVito impression right now.
And so what he does is pop apart. Is that
blows up? The gimmick is he blows up, but obviously you're not going to have him blow up in a million people. But he's supposed to blow up, and
yeah, that's dumb.
Why am I not surprised that would be Ren's reaction?
No, actually, I think Ren does have a legitimate gripe in the fact that much like Joe kept playing with toys. Ren's like, man, I'm already approaching my 30s right now. These figures are coming out. I'm not into this shit anymore. I get that. Joe's still trick-or-treating and he's in his 60s, all right? So I understand. Thank you. I
wasn't that damn old.
Hey, Emily.
Everybody says hi.
Hey, Emily, what do you think about
She's like, what? Yeah, ask Emily what she thinks of Blast Attack.
What do you think of Blast Attack?
What is that?
See, so
exactly.
There you go.
We'll get her educated.
Yeah.
No, don't bore her to death.
I'm slipping in that regard, but no, I get Ren's perspective, of being like kind of growing out of the line. You reach a point when you're a kid, much like Tyler and I did with Ninja Turtles. It's really awesome when you're a kid, but as the line continues, as the animated series continues, you just grow out of it. Because there's too many variants.
It got lousy. Well, I think we would have stuck with it if it wasn't so many fucking variants and the cartoon wasn't getting lame.
I'll unmute Joe.
Those figures, they got lame, man. Like they tried.
Well, same thing happened with G.I. Joe. The toys get brightly colored and poor ideas. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah, but it wasn't as bad as with the Turtles, because with Turtles you got complete and utter insanity.
You
did with Farmer Michelangelo with his tractor.
Yeah.
Christ's sake, man!
Birthday Turtles.
Imagine who got that for a birthday present, like Michelangelo with dressed as a farmer with his tractor.
Troll Turtles, man! I got the Troll Turtles for my birthday.
And somebody, whoever bought you that, thought it was the cutest thing ever.
This is great.
No, I think I don't think I have it on this computer, but at one point I had the picture of the scan.
Yeah, you showed it on the podcast.
Yeah, of the open cars that are laughing because I'm like they probably got me a Ninja Turtle, and at that point I was like, I don't care about Ninja Turtles anymore. I grew out of it,
Yeah.
So I get Ren's perspective on thinking that those later lines are dumb. We have some of our. Our older listeners that grew up with the peak of the line, and as those later lines came out or they got burned out by the live action movie and they see Extendar, they think that it's garbage, It's just about perspective. It's going back to what Dewson was saying earlier about when you discover it is how you're going to kind of pinpoint who they align with or where they are. The same thing goes with what you think of the toys going forward. Oh yeah, I gotta unmute Joe.
Joe, did you taste it?
I don't know what Joe did.
What did he do?
Joe had a little
the victim in the oven.
It was about this big. He seductively unwrapped it, right? A little chocolate bar. He took all the little clothes off and then shoved the whole thing up his mask and then balled the plastic up. It was gone.
I believe that.
It's almost like Joe performs rape on a Three Musketeer in his bed. Like he tears his clothes off, and when it's all done, was it good for you too? And Jizz sitting in the corner.
We stressed Joe out so much that he had to go and get a candy bar.
Get some chocolate.
I did.
I did.
So, in between that, because we talked about Val and Emiliano, and they're basically saying...
I ain't get to talk about Blast Attack.
All right, fine, Joe.
Man too. Piss off, right, you fuckhead. Mute him. Mute that son of a bitch right there. Mute him.
All right, there we go. It's
only
fair.
Son of a bitch.
Go ahead, Joe.
How do you like that, Ren? No, it's the same thing. That's what I was trying to say because Tyler said the same thing.
Yeah, but
that I
he's
was gonna
gonna
say.
sit there calm and cool. He's not gonna rock back and forth and go get a candy bar and be like,
Hey, but
"Oh,
that
God damn
fucker
it!"
He had me worked up so the douching, and God damn it, I was muted. But Tyler was able to speak and basically say what I was going to say. But no, it's the same thing. It's like every other faction has got a robot, and there's nothing wrong with having a robot be a member of a faction. Yeah, he's not a actual Snake Man, but he's a member of the Snake. Fuck off. He's a member of the Snake Men, though. And yes, he's more
Yeah.
like a concussion bomb. You send him into battle, he blows up, could knock fuckers unconscious, take them out, leave them immobilized. I'm gonna fuck you up, Ren. Leave him immobilized. He's not there to kill him.
Buff Bagwell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, he's leaving him immobilized, knocked out, all that shit. So he's not killing him and stuff, but there is a purpose for him. You imagine having something like that in warfare. Like when you send out a stun grenade and bam, it fucks people up. He's a giant stun grenade. He can
I'm with you.
fuck people up in battle.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Joe. Blast Attack on my classic shelf is with the Snake Man. I
Me
think
too, and he's
Blast
there
Attack
in the-
is aligned with the Snake Man.
Exactly. So we got Ren pissing me off. We got douching with the goddamn baby Joey. But otherwise,
But I also put Cobra Khan with my Snake Man. Like
there you go.
So
Now, Cobra Khan's right here next to Webstore and Too Bad.
oh yeah.
Where he belongs.
Okay, I'm relaxed, but we can move on. Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
yeah,
You can unmute fuckhead there.
Oh yeah, there we go. Going back to Val and Emiliano working on those stories, but also when it came to DC and having those comics where the Snake Men evolved in those stories. Yeah, I know you guys talked about them, you've reviewed them before, but are the Snake Men in those stories?
Yeah, and they team up with He-Man. It's fucking stupid.
Well, you can. Do you want to elaborate a little
No,
more?
no,
It's not,
because
it's not like Burger Thing, you know.
Just
No.
leave it
Or I
alone.
guess it
Leave
kinda
that shit
is.
alone.
No, it is, but it's also the shit Rob David wrote, too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We're
All
not
right.
going to acknowledge it. We swear
Yeah.
to God, we ain't
Oh,
acknowledge
okay.
that shit.
If you want, search through the archives somewhere. Do a search for one of those. I think they exist somewhere.
I honestly, I didn't review it. I think Joe went and spent money and bought the shit so we could sit there and say, yeah, I read it and it wasn't very good. You know, you could have saved money to say, yeah, it was fucking bad.
I really don't even want to talk about it. That's
Yeah.
fucking horrible. So
I
yeah,
remember,
what's the
I remember
next
that when
thing?
people were like, you guys don't like the Eternity War, and I said, I thought you guys were like too fancy stuff. Like, well, you're a fucking moron, dude, because you bought the
Now we
shit
got
and you
some
read it and
awesome
you like it.
classics.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
And Fangor, which I would really like to have a classics Fangor, but I am not spending hundreds of dollars for it. So if anybody out there has a
They've got the
Origins
one for like 50.
I might get the Origins just so I can put it
Yeah,
with the vintage
and it's a cool
stuff.
figure for Origins too. Yeah.
Yeah. But here we are in classics form. My favorite line, just my opinion. It's to me that's my favorite out of everything is the classics line, and I think they did them justice in this
Ratler
form.
looks terrible. Is that
Huh?
an eyeball?
What?
I think no, it look.
Rattler looks. I think Rattler looks awesome.
I think it's just the perspective of the
Oh,
picture,
okay.
and it's a little
googly
pixel.
eyed right there.
No, it's just
He's all
pixelated.
googly.
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 I think of
As
a
a matter of fact,
Julia
Snake Face is
Julia.
googly.
Yeah, Julia Gulia. Yeah, Glenn Gulia.
Snake Face is googly.
That's funny. Why is that funny? I
Fangor
don't
doesn't
know.
look good.
Do what?
Fangor doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Right
Because
there,
if
right
he-
there's not.
if
I
he
mean, I
looks
got
like-
Fangor right
If
here.
he
I
looks
think he looks
down,
great though.
he's going to stab himself.
Yeah, that design is kind
Well,
of dumb to me.
was there not? Was it?
Options of like
Isn't
different
there an
teeth.
alternate
Yeah.
head?
There's an alternate head
Yeah.
with the fangs are not all the way out, and it's more of a
And
close.
they
Yeah,
did that with
All right.
Origins too.
Here
So
we-
there is
here-
an
here we
alternate
go.
version.
Here we
How
go,
does
here.
that look?
Yeah. Bring it up right now. There you go.
Yeah, there's an alternate head.
Yeah, that looks much better. Like, why isn't that just the only head? Why the stupid gimmick of large?
Well, because
larger
if
tusk?
we got
Well-
the vintage figure, I'm sure his teeth would have elongated out. You know,
Yeah.
like
But
large.
Why?
Like when a snake it
It
exposes
makes
its
him an
fangs.
invalid.
Yeah, and he wants to bite and suck in you or something or whatever. That's all it's representing.
You want to do what?
That's your favorite thing.
I'm not giving you no more
Joey, is
sound
nasty.
It wants to bite and give it the biggest blowjob of your life.
No more sound bites.
Ah,
ahead,
goddamn
Nathan.
hell.
Fangor sucky.
No,
And
the classics figures are just beautiful. But also, we get things like this, like Lord Grasp.
This was one of the mishmash characters that was supposed to come out before when the line was canceled.
Back in the day, yeah. So they gave them their own names. These weren't the names that they would have had back in the day. These
honestly, I didn't
and the
like
color
Lord
scheme.
Grasp. Now, I like this one, even though it's just Whiplash with Trapjaw's body and Mosquito's leg. It's not very Snake Man-like, but it was a fun mishmash character. I did like this one a lot, though.
And the colors are also
I'm not going to argue it. They're poor designs. They're just slapping together.
Trash Man.
None that you ran.
I like the Snake. I like the Snake Warriors, though.
That's the guy that was in the picture.
Yeah, that's the army builder.
That's what I meant. That's why I said it was a dead giveaway that he was looking at classics. But I like that they gave us some random Snake Warriors. That was cool.
These were included in the 3-pack with Slamurai, correct?
No.
These
were they were 2-pack.
Oh wait, no. It's the Snake Troopers that are in the 3-pack with Slamurai.
Yes, and then you got Terror, Lord Grasp, and Hot Shot or Plasma, whichever name you want to buy, which was like the kind of Rio Blast Fisto mishmash figure with the Whiplash Trapjaw mishmash and the Squeeze and Claw mishmash.
How about now we talk about our favorite member of this entire faction?
Don't you show Man at Arms?
Yeah, Snake Man at Arms, baby.
That fucking figure.
Man,
what
Scott
a waste.
eat shit.
What a waste.
Why did this happen again?
Because Scott
Origins too.
Oh my God! It starts with Dean Stefan because he was the head writer on this show. For whatever reason, the last episode that never got made, they were pushing.
But we got the comic. Remember, we did get this.
Which makes no sense because this happens already in the season. So for some reason they thought, hey, let's have Man-Arms turn into a Snake Man again. And what if he joined the Snake Man for a season? Like, oh, how fucking cutting edge that would be.
Wasn't he also going to die?
Yes, he was supposed to apparently die.
Anger
was going to come in and take over.
Angry issues.
I hate this fucking figure. Please get it off the screen.
Well, hang on. No, what was Tyler saying there about the...
the plan was that they were going to introduce Clamp Champ to kind of fill in the role of Man-at-Arms while he's a Snake Man with King Hiss. That's how they're going to introduce him in Season 3. But for whatever reason, Scott Nylet just fell in love with this idea and forced it in the classics, and made it a big part in the bios, and then has Clamp Champ kill him and you have him use very stereotypical language in the mini comic. And when people saw that, like, Scott, why would you write the one black character this way? And it was just like, and of course, I'm sure he's like, if you don't like the mini comic, you don't have to read it. Like he does with all this fucking shitty bio.
What was the dialogue?
It's like, Duncan, come on, man, don't make me do this. It's just like, I mean, Scott.
Yeah, I don't like acknowledging those mini comics. They were wretched. I tried to fucking erase them from my memory along with every goddamn classic bio.
Then why do you keep them still on your shelf?
Well, I like the figures, but those. Shut up! What are you laughing about, Ren?
All right. Well, speaking.
Damn, why are you so mean?
Well, hey.
I love you, Ren.
Let me move. I'm gonna move this
love
here.
You, Ren.
Speaking of these classics bios,
No.
Let me go ahead.
Snake Man at Arms.
No, hang on. I just want to read some of these. So here,
I will say, but before Nathan reads this, I remember Danielle was on Roast School and she was questioning why the fuck is this a figure. I was like, thank you. Somebody is questioning Scott Nylet's logic here. Like, why are you doing this?
Go ahead, read the fucking bio.
Here is King Hiss, which they've spelt just HSSSSS.
Yeah.
And real name HSSSS of the Viper House. A servant of the unnamed one, Hiss was chosen. I can't read. Hiss was chosen to lead an army of snake men to the planet of Eternia to plunder its magical secrets. He ruled Eternia for 3 centuries until a rebellion formed under Devon Grayskull. Okay. Soon afterwards, the Horde invaded, and Hiss was drawn into a 3-way war. All 3 sides agreed to a temporary truce in order to construct the 3 towers, but Hiss was betrayed by Hordak, and in time was banished to the void by the Elders and Zodak. For 5,000 years, he and his army waited until Evil Lyn and a Snake Men descendant named Cobra Khan opened the snake pit to free them. King Hiss often tricks foes by appearing heroic, but then transforms into a seething mass of serpents and leads the Snake Men into battle. That's only one of them.
Please, no more. Is there anything good that we can get to now? Or is
Hey, no stone unturned. Cobra Khan, real name, Khan of the Clan Cobra.
Wow, that's so original.
A descendant of the ancient Snake Men, Khan became fascinated with the many legends of their victories in the Great Wars. Breaking into the archives of Eterno's palace, he learned that the great King Hiss had been locked into the void at the end of the war. In a ruse to free his king, Khan joined forces with Skeletor, and with the help of Evil Lyn, they acquired Zodak's staff, the key to freeing his Snake Men brethren. Together, he and Evil Lyn opened the Snake Pit portal, releasing Hiss and his ageless army, returning their terror to Eternia. Khan went on to loyally serve Hiss, controlling his prey with his evil, hypnotic mist.
You can tell all Scott did was just watch the NYP cartoon, and that's it. Like, he had no fucking clue about anything. Outside of making up his own, Microsoft Word bullshit.
Who do you want me to? Ratlore.
Ratlore.
Oh God! All right. So real name, Siltio of Ratlore House. Did I pronounce that right?
Sylvia.
It says here it's like Slltyo.
Sylvia.
Sure.
A royal leader in King Hiss's army, Ratlore was the first of the Snake Men to escape their imprisonment in the Void. He worked with the Snake Men descendant Cobra Khan to liberate the entire Serpent Arm. Once freed, Hiss quickly began a three-way war against the Master Universe and Skeletor's evil warriors, with Ratlore leading the attack. Eventually, Khan manipulated Hiss into demoting Ratlore, and he defected to the evil Horde army. Under Hordak, Ratlore became known as the General for his keen insight into enemy strategy. After sounding his sinister rattle, Ratlore lashes out at victims with his terrible quick strike head.
God, Scott Knight's fucking stupid.
What did they do to make him go to Horde? What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
So, Snakeface, Siltho Stave?
Okay,
Steve.
sure.
Salvo Steve?
Yes,
You're making it up.
Psycho Steve. No, this is how it's spelled. CYLTHOSSSTAVVVE.
Just whatever his
Steve
fingers
Steve.
were just touching quickly. He's like, yeah, there we go. Let's go.
Yeah,
with it.
it's almost like a cat was just like hitting the
Yeah.
keyboard or
Blam.
something.
All the Snake Men have lisps.
Yeah. Originally, oh my God! All right. Originally a minor training officer in the unnamed one Serpent Army, Psycho Steve drew King Hiss's attention after he was enchanted with the ability to turn his enemies into stone by
wow, that's so cool.
by
You
the
should join my army.
by the Great Black Wizard. Quickly brought into Hiss's inner circle, Snakeface often acted as Viper King's second in command during the Great Wars with Grayskull. He was trapped with the entire Snake Army in the Void for 5 millennia, but eventually was called forth by King Hiss to do battle once again after their release, this time against new enemies, He-Man and the Masters Universe. Snakeface slithers after his enemies, then turns them to stone. I don't think I'm going to read anymore.
can
I
we
think
take
If
questions from the
anyone's
chat?
curious, like, what the Black Wizard was a creation by Axel Jimenez, too. So, like, there was some stuff that Axel had illustrated and just kind of come up with, and I'm sure Scott was like, "We'll make it a figure at some point, and I'll force him in here and butcher him in my fucking bios." So
Actually, here's another one right underneath. The Snake Men 2-pack. A hybrid of 3 cold-blooded alien races, the Snake Men were spliced together and bred by the unnamed one to serve as loyal foot soldiers in his ever-growing army. Several battalions of Snake Men were assigned to the Viper Lord King Hiss and traveled with him to Eternia to plunder its hidden magic for their formless master. Unprepared for an attack by evading Horde armies, the Snake Army was driven into hibernation and eventually trapped in the Void by the warrior Zodak. 5 millennia later, Hiss and his reptile army escaped their imprisonment and once again took up the flight to claim Eternia. Snake Men fight loyally in the armies of King Hiss and against the heroic masters of the universe.
If you guys have any questions, shoot them in the chat right now.
Wait. Hey, well, we got. How about this one? Snout Spout, real name Jackson.
Just one thing.
All right, I'm not reading any more of that shit.
So the unnamed one doesn't have a name, doesn't have a form. Why did anyone serve him?
Because he looks like an evil Orko.
No, but then he has a form, but then he doesn't have a form. But it's like, did any of these guys know who they serve? Because he doesn't have a name.
No, because the guy who wrote this shit didn't know what he was either. So,
I will end it on this one. So we're gonna have Lady Slither coming out in the Origins line. So I was kind of curious on everyone's opinions. Having Lady Slither, also
why does she have a belt?
I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What is she holding?
But also, these guys are coming out in Origins line. How do you feel about kind of the newer additions to these in action figure form? I know we can.
Well, as for ladies. Well, yeah, I mean, I know they are definitely mishmashing with parts like that, which is, it's quick, it's lazy, whatever the fuck. So I'm not doing backflips over them. But Lady Slither, no, I'm excited to get that figure. But these, it's like just a quick cash grab of them doing that, though. And but of course, I'm still getting them because I'm a dick.
And what about this? I know that this is art that was posted on, and is this Tom's art? Tom, you might have to confirm. No, it's not.
It's Axel.
That's Axel.
It's
right.
Axel.
That's
Okay.
Axel did all these, yeah.
What is the context with this?
They were just
creations.
They were just creations that he had come up with.
Okay.
Outside of the Snake Trooper, just stuff that he had. Lady Slither. Like I always thought that was a cool idea.
Yeah, and just like that with Fangorn, did you see we got him? We're getting Fangorn.
I had known about all these guys for a long time, and
Viper
was like, is to take off the Viper Tower kind of thing. So I thought there were some fun ideas. The Black Wizard kind of looks like General. It kind of looks like the evil wizard in the Black Cauldron. If you guys have any idea what the Black Wizard looks like, I actually had Axel put him in one of the illustrations, like the last one he did for me. He actually did a lot of really cool, like, original ideas that never came to fruition. I kept thinking they were going to be turned into figures, and I'm sure Scott was like, well, no, me and Jeff Johns, we got all these great ideas, and we'll get around to doing your great ideas at some point. We get these really good ideas like Sir Spectre and Sir Lancelot, and we're going to make them, before we make your good ideas come to fruition, they're actually just hang in there, buddy. I got some more bios.
How did you guys, when it came to classics, because we saw some of those newer editions, things that were planned for the line, the mishmash stuff, did you appreciate those newer editions then for what they were? Like, kind of no harm, no foul kind of thing? Would you have just done without it entirely?
I absolutely love the White Ninja. Like, Slamurai, that name doesn't make any sense at all.
I hate the name, but I love the figure.
I love the White Ninja. I think Ninja having, like, even though I always put Ninja and Clancham together as foes, I think the Heroic Wars having a White Ninja, much like in the Rambo cartoon, you got White Dragon and Black Dragon. Like, I love having.
He definitely would have had a different name back in the 80s.
Most definitely, yeah. It wouldn't have been that, but I was cool with the Hot Shot. Plasmar doesn't work for me. Hot Shot I thought looked pretty good. Terror, that name doesn't work. I don't know if that was names that Super 7 came up with or not.
I didn't show this off here.
The Snake Trooper, I was cool with that. Yeah. I could totally see Snake Men that have been either captured and brainwashed or have sworn their allegiance to the Horde. Like, why not?
Because it's stuff we would have got back, back in the day. If the line continued, we would have got them.
Yeah, I'd have been cool with that.
It makes sense for them to wear Horde Trooper armor because their heads can actually fit inside those helmets.
Yeah. But yeah, some of the mishmash, I thought they were, I could see what people like. I mean, Ren probably didn't really care for them. Deucin probably not so much either. But having them, because I really
most of those figures are just lame repaints and.
Well, and I mean, I'm not going to argue that, because even looking at Errol McCarthy, who did illustrations for all of them, they're fun illustrations. But I'm like, was this really where they were going to do? Like a figure with Rattler's elongated neck, Whiplash's head, Trapjaw's upper body, and Mosquito's legs, and it was really just like, it's almost like someone took their kid and like, here, son, make something out of this, and we'll turn it into an action figure.
Because we're losing money. You are our only hope.
So I having them in hand, they are cool. Like I got them right over here.
Yeah.
And here, I'll grab Lord Grasp here.
Yeah, I would kind of like to. I would kind of like to have that figure in plasma.
What? Yeah. I mean, it's
it's kind of like a half completionist thing for me, Ren.
Well, I mean, but the sculpt is, I mean, it's colors and mishmashes, but they're not bad, honestly. But hey, Ren is right to think that way, and same thing with Deuce. Now, this one was my favorite, though. I think it was such an oddity. It makes no sense at all.
It
but
makes
the
me
color
think
scheme,
of that scene from The Thing when the fake hair starts to react in the body.
My brother loved that movie.
It's kick-ass film.
The Thing?
Yeah.
The Thing, he loved that stupid movie. Yeah, I can't stand
that stupid movie.
You're stupid.
Every time I go over his house.
It's not a stupid movie. You're stupid.
Dude, it's a stupid movie with that he's got that dummy hanging up like this.
Dude, the thing is one of the best horror movies.
John Carpenter's best film he's ever made. It was The Thing.
Do you like anything, Ren? Ren, do you like anything?
Yeah, do you like anything?
I love a lot of things.
Yeah. Do you love me?
Not Indiana Jones, that's for sure. I saw that comment.
I do not like Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay.
At all?
No. And I saw the new movie today, and it was absolute garbage. It was terrible.
But he did see Blue Beetle, and he liked that.
Yeah, I saw
Blue Beetle was amazing.
Actually, I will watch Blue Beetle because I do like Zolo, the kid that's playing Blue Beetle, because of Cobra Kai. I'll kind of watch it out of support of that more than anything.
The movie was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah, the movie was fun. It was really fun.
Well, before we take any questions, as Joe said, if you got questions there, go ahead and pop them down. We'll take a few of those. Any lasting thoughts on the Snake Men? I feel, as a whole, I wish that they, from what we've gotten to this point, other than NYP, that seems like a faction criminally underused.
Mm-hmm.
You could definitely...
A lot of untapped potential. I feel like you can, and I've always thought that they were. Look, I just from my perspective, that they were heavily inspired by Thulsa Doom and Conan the Barbarian. It's like James Earl Jones' portrayal of Thulsa, a man who's human but is a snake on the inside. And just feel like a man that could transform into a snake and possibly eat people, want people to come to me, my child, and sacrifice themselves. I just, there's that one shot that people just loved, like the snake slave girl. In that one panel in King of the Snake Men, this girl that's wrapped around King hits his leg kind of reminds me of the princess that Thulsa abducts. That's in the orgy chamber that Conan, Valeri, and Subutai go and rescue. So it's easy to picture that these Snake Men were influenced by Conan characters. Even though Thulsa Doom was a Cole character. But just how their portrayal of the snake cult itself, big snakes that you're gonna have these beautiful young women jump into a pit, and the snake's gonna eat you while you're alive.
Yeah,
this crazy shit like that. I feel like you could really have a lot of fun with the Snake Men and being a really serious threat, and we just never got to see that.
I know that it would realistically never happen in that regard.
What's that?
What is that?
Someone's
being abducted?
It's Ren's phone.
Oh.
It shouldn't be.
I don't know. Someone's phone. I think it would definitely never happen, but I think the idea of having a strong PG-13 close to an R-rated Masters of the Universe film.
No, far away from R rating.
If
we don't need Masters of the Universe with toilet jokes, we don't need Masters of the Universe with bloodbath, we don't need Masters of the Universe with nudity. Because that's one thing that they love to do these days, is when they do R rating, they put male frontal nudity. And I'm
floppy wieners all over the place.
Did you see Baywatch movie?
What? Not over here.
No, I think, all right, I'll retract, maybe not R, but I think like a strong PG-13 would be all right. Like, yes, no nudity, but, and definitely no, you could have a little bit of blood. I'm not saying like, oh, it's got to be like Saw or anything, but
exactly.
Just something treated very seriously.
Of taste, of good taste.
Yeah. Well, I would
Because,
want
like,
it.
You want this movie to appeal to both adults and kids.
Yes. Yeah.
I could do that. I could write the treatment.
Now, can I give my thoughts on Snake Man?
Is it going to be that it's all garbage?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
They're
Well,
trash.
the
They're
floor is
trash, not
yours.
It's like they're all trash.
Joe, you better go get another candy bar.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that they're not needed in the
In the MCU.
in the Master Universe. I was gonna say Motu Universe, but then I didn't want to piss Joe off.
You're too late.
Yeah.
I like they don't fit in my opinion. Like it's like
Really?
everything you were talking about. That we got split into 3 factions, man.
Well, that's the shitty classics bios. You can't.
Yeah,
Well,
that jerk
listen.
off Scott wrote that bullshit.
Let's deal with Skeletor and possibly Hordak being, these other entities trying to take over Eternia and whatever. We don't need snake people jumping in there and they're like smart. Come on, that's dumb.
Wait, are you calling them stupid because they're snake men? Let's
Yeah,
be
they're
sensitive.
stupid snake people
That's
I mean,
running around with their snake faces.
I guess.
Yeah, go ahead and suck on that chocolate.
I guess
Yeah,
if you.
put it in your mouth. Put it in your mouth.
I guess if you're looking at
Slowly.
it, if you're looking at it from Ren's aspect, I guess to a degree, if you have Skeletor and you kind of have Hordak, it does sort of overcrowd
There's
everything.
too many, yeah. And then you get Snake Man Duncan. Come on, man.
that's the brainchild of Dean and Scott. Just couldn't get rid of a boner that was just he just had the biggest Jones for that fucking
Well, guess
idea.
what? That boner got pushed into the brand new one, and so they've got a Snake Man Duncan in the Origins universe as well. And whatever the next toy line becomes, guaranteed they're gonna have one there too. Because
What's weird because Rob Davis, Scott, and they're born of the same damn sandbox. Apparently I don't think they like each other, but yet that Rob is continuing to carry on bullshit that Scott wrote. And then some. So it's just like I don't know how these guys cannot get along because I figured these guys would be like like that, but they're really giving us that.
Yeah.
To everybody there, they're cut from the same.
Wait, is that a shotgun?
No, it's
Okay, Ren, watch out.
it's show and tell with Joe Amato. Is that the Kane Hodder sign?
Joe's gonna mess on
Yes.
himself.
Yeah.
Joe, where you have that in the sheath, it smeared the Jason part on the machete.
Oh yeah.
Well, look at it.
No.
Yeah,
Look where it
at
says Jason on the
Son
machete.
of a bitch, motherfucker! I gotta keep it out of the sheet now.
Yeah, you're
God
fucking it
damn
up.
What the hell?
You're fucking it up, Joe. Way
Why
to
would
go.
you put it back in there?
Aw,
You should have had that
motherfucker!
behind some glass or on a.
Well, see now,
plate or
Joe,
something.
you'll have to wander out to a convention that Kane is at now because you clearly can
And get
do
him
it
to do
now,
it again.
Well, hey,
Yeah.
good thing is Kane Hodder's autograph is still good. Just Jason got a little blurred, but God
Use a
damn
better
it!
marker, you cheap bastard.
Hey, you can rewrite the Jason part.
No, I ain't gonna do
I'll be
that. I
right
ain't gonna
back
touch
before we
it.
start doing questions.
All right. Yeah, if you
I'm gonna
if you
put
guys
this
got
away.
some stuff, go ahead and.
This
and
is what
pop
you
them in.
get for using cheap markers.
Shut up. All right. That's it. If there's any
should-
questions, because we are.
You're into
see if
fame.
you
Oh
can get it,
no,
clear
yeah,
coded.
we're still waiting on the questions, Joe. Well,
See if you can get it clear coded, Joe. You might be able to save it.
What should I do? So do a clear coat?
Yeah, search up clear coding the blade, and you should be able to
Okay.
save that.
All right. Well, thank God his name is still good, but
Yeah.
God damn, yeah, Jason
you-
did get a little blurred.
yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff, dude.
Well, this is how it was given to me. It was given to me in the sheet.
well, yeah.
I didn't know, but I'll definitely watch it now. But yeah,
Don't put it back in there.
no, I won't. It's staying out now. Did they sell like some type? You said they sell cases to where I could put that in.
Yeah,
I mean-
I'm sure they. Well, you could probably go to.
You
get
could
like
honestly-
a bat frame case or
baseball
something,
bat,
put it in
yeah.
there, the
Okay.
baseball one from Michaels or something.
Yeah.
Put
Okay.
it in there.
That's
I'll do
gonna be a lot of months of just only eating ramen noodles though. To
Yeah,
save
man,
up to
there we
buy
go.
one of those.
Expensive. Yeah, those are expensive, man. They're like 50,
There we go.
$60.
Yeah, shoot, like save money. I was telling Val I could save him a lot of money, like getting, when
Yeah.
I was taking all them extra bars, I'll
Yeah,
get him
that
some
was
bars
pretty
real
good.
cheap. They end up being
Get some
16
bars.
cents each. No, 16
Bars
cents
real
each if
cheap.
they got the things I got. So yeah, I'll save
Butter
money.
real cheap.
Yeah,
I'll
Joe
cater to PowerCon.
Joe taking. Yeah, it was funny how Joe was like, "Yeah, I took 3 of those," and Val was like, "Those cost me like $8 a pop, right?"
Well, see, I felt bad too. I only took 2 extra, but when he said
Hell,
$6
they probably
each, I was
taste
like,
better when Joe knows they're super expensive.
Yeah.
It's like caviar to him,
Yeah.
man.
oh, no, really? Because in my
He
brain,
won't
I
swallow
thought
them whole
I
at
can get them
$8 a
cheap
piece.
somewhere.
He'll
No,
just,
really, I
he'll
get
just
them
lick
cheap.
the shit out of him for days, and then he'll take the first bite.
Yeah, and then wonder why his tongue fucking hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but seriously,
you
I was like, I know they can.
sucking on shit first.
I know I'd get them cheap. Like I said, the ones I was saying, the same ones, he can get them 16 cents each instead of $6. I will cater the fuck out of
I was
PowerCon.
thinking, when you guys were sharing that story of Joe like going to the fancy restaurant looking for milkshakes, it made me think of like that the episode of The Simpsons where George Bush goes to the drive-thru. He's like, "What kind of stew do you have?" We don't have stew. Have the cheeseburger. That's more of a weekend thing, don't you think? That's what made me think of Joe, like going to ask for stew at a McDonald's or something.
I'm something.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well,
Nathan, get the question.
yeah, 2025, or hopefully next year we will have PowerCon.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm really hoping next year it'll work out and we can just do this
I
all
get
again.
Val's reasons for wanting
Yeah,
to possibly
absolutely.
wait, but for our sake, Val.
For our sake, come on.
Yeah,
We
If
got a
for
time.
Anybody else?
We got a
Rent
tiny
out the
taste of it.
convention center just for
Val,
us to hang out.
Val, we need more.
Yeah.
All right, here's a question from Philippe. Snake Men or Evil Horde?
Evil Horde.
Evil Horde.
Yeah, Evil Horde. Yeah.
That's
Let me
why
some dial
Snake Men
emoji
aren't needed.
lock.
Yeah, it's like, gee, I wonder what Joe's going to pick.
Yep.
Here is a question from JP Fawn. Anyone interested in doing the Hebrew concept?
No.
He said no. It was a fan creation.
Yeah,
it's
Clamp
cool
Champ
for
wearing
him,
He-Man's
yeah.
outfit. That's all it was.
It's cool for him.
No, yeah, it's awesome for that guy to have, like, gotten the illustration. And, hey, I think if maybe that had happened, like, 10 years, 15 years earlier, Scott Nylick would have been all over. They would have had a classics figure.
Yeah, his real name would have been
also-
Ren.
Wasn't there also wasn't there also a lame animation spoof by the same name?
Was there? I didn't know that.
I don't.
I'm
I,
not sure
that,
if it was or
Where
not.
this parody of He-Man shoots sausages out of his nipples or something.
What?
Uh,
What the hell is that? I
That
don't
sounds
recall
like that sounds like one of those crossover comics that Joe
I've never heard of that shit.
Joe
Yeah.
got.
Next
Yeah.
question.
Here is one from JSP. Probably a question for something different. What's your favorite movie that's so bad it's good?
Axum. That
No,
was so fucking
no, that's
terrible.
such a that is a piece of shit.
No, but it is good.
I
Axum,
draw the
love
line
it.
at that.
It's
Axum
so
is
cheesy.
fucking
How they
trash.
shoot the movie, like I said, when they're supposed to be running away from the killer and they're running towards the camera, but then they run out of room because the camera's against the wall, so you actually see them like doing this. You'll see parts of their body. It's so fucking bad. It's good. I love Axum. Oh God, I love it.
Hell comes to Frogtown.
That's Ren's new favorite.
I thought you
And he's got good memories attached because he had good
Yeah.
company while we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
watching.
Check out
wish you were there, Tyler, man. It was a good movie to watch.
I wish I had, because I Nathan's mentioned that movie for years, and I told Eric I really should have just toughed it out and just stayed up a little bit longer, because I couldn't go to sleep anyway. I was so
Yeah.
wired from everything. I really should have just went over there and hung out with you guys
Yeah,
and watched that. But we'll plan that for our gathering
for sure.
of some kind for sure. And then the next PowerCon we go to, we'll have to watch Alligator 2 with Tom Brysky and see how shitty that movie is.
Well, because I have Alligator and Alligator 2, but my pick, and Ren knows this because Tom had just a good selection. He had Killer Crocodile, 1 and
Which
2.
I'd seen pictures of. Had no idea. I watched the trailer for that this week. What a piece of shit that movie that is going to be.
So
God.
I bought a copy on eBay, the limited edition, where if you got that, it came with the second one. It's actually, if anyone wants to check it out, it's free on like Tubi, like all those services. If you look, it's free on a bunch of stuff. You had to deal with ads, and I was watching and ads would pop up. I'm like, man, fuck this. I'm just gonna buy the Blu-ray. My list would be like Miami Connection, Deadly Prey is up there. Like that movie is bad, but it's so great. I love Deadly Prey. Tom knows what I'm talking about. I don't know if anybody else here does, but I know Tom definitely does. I found, like, Tyler, you're my best friend. Joe, I love you a lot. Ren, you're kind of okay. Deucin, I haven't met you in person, but, you're a good dude. But meeting Tom, and Tom messaged me this. He's like, I don't think I've met another person that likes watching these bad movies and collects Creature from the Black Lagoon stuff, because we both do that. I'm like, hell yeah, man. So
he collects Creature stuff too?
He does.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
He just dropped as a cool person 3 notches.
And he actually, he's going to mail it to me. He's going to hook me up with that San Diego Comic-Con glow-in-the-dark Gilman.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
NECA
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. By the way, Joe, are you planning on sending me my pens that I bought from Tom? The Mothman?
Yes, I am. I'll be doing it this week. I just had a week of tongue recovery.
Hey, Joe.
You don't need to.
He couldn't go to the post office because his tongue hurt.
Because his tongue was jacked up. Hey, Joe.
And the roofers.
He probably concocted some sort of STD on his tongue there.
Have you seen G.I. Joe the movie yet?
Oh.
And until next time.
No, we have more questions. Here's one from Oliver Belmont. Will you review any of the 80s Master Universe Snake Men comics, or have you had the vintage Master Universe Snake Men poster from the magazine?
Came in late. Yeah, you must have came in late.
We
have covered all the Snake Men mini comics.
Yeah.
We have covered it. And
I
we're
got
all
the
big fans.
posters.
Yeah, got both of them. Yep, absolutely.
Watch it again, bud.
Here is one from Febmon. How about a discussion on the Master Universe Princess of Power New Adventures playsets that were never made, like the Laughing Swan Inn, which did show in the She-Ra Mini, as well as Catra's Treehouse. Yeah, well, we could probably show off some of the unproduced
when Rebecca comes back.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the concept playsets, that like that one that was hanging on a doorknob. It was
I love the tree. That tree. Oh God, that's
it was
cool
like a
shit.
mountain peak playset with like a tree and like you would hang it on a doorknob with a ladder hanging off of it, like up in the sky. Yeah. It was a really cool concept that they had done. And that's all in the Power and Honor Foundation book as well. But unmade playsets and stuff like that would be a cool topic.
A lot of cool shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple more Simple Tricks nonsense. Would you guys attempt a live now for something different and a future PowerCon, like Rift Track style? That would be fun.
Absolutely. I'd love to watch the live action He-Man movie with a live crowd. That'd be awesome.
Val, taking notes.
Yeah, Val, make it happen next year. If anything else, we're having a live, panel screening of the live action movie hosted by me.
Oh my God, Ren's not going. JSP said the Samurai Cop, Evil Dead 2, Dead Heat Reanimator. See, Evil Dead 2, Dead Heat Reanimator. I don't classify though as bad. They're good, because to me those are great. Samurai Cop, good. Add that one to the list. I also recommend watching Samurai Cop with Joe Bob Briggs' commentary, because he does a commentary track on there. That's fun. And we will take one more, because Joe's got to go. Joe's got to go masturbate or something. What?
I don't get who can classify Evil Dead 2 as a bad movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in that. Even though I'm not Evil Dead, I like Army of Darkness. That's the one I like the most.
Which is funny that you say that, because Army of Darkness has more humor in it than Evil Dead 2 does.
That was the first one I saw. That's how I even learned of it.
So it's like poetry, so that it rhymes.
Yeah, right. So when I saw Evil Dead, I'm like, my brother was a big fanatic for both those films, and Matt Hilton was a big fan of those too. I think Evil Dead, it's a fun movie, but the gore gets like overdone, like to the point where, like, can we fucking move on here? Like the guts are spewing. I'm like, yes, it's great, it's gory. Can we move on? Like, God, man, like, let's move on now.
Hell yeah, Tom. Hell yeah.
Hell no, Tom.
No,
no.
There's a scene in Deadly Prey where there's this girl that's working for the guy, and she's talking to our main hero. She's like, "I'm gonna love watching you die," and he's like, "Fuck you," and he like, then he smacks her, and then just shoots her. You don't see it. Like shoots her point blank in the head. Watch Deadly Prey. Everyone go look that out.
I'm curious if Tom has seen Eaten Alive and Dark Age, which are both like cross out alligator films, like one from the 70s.
I guarantee you. Now, Eaten Alive for sure.
What a piece of shit that movie
Tom
is.
has seen way more of these bad movies than I have.
And Tom, I'm hoping that you've seen Thanksgiving. That is another great one. It's so horrible.
I need to watch that one again.
That is great with that fucking killer turkey. It is fucking hilarious, but great. Thanksgiving.
Here is one more question. Here's a comment from Tom. Ren, I got to tell you, you are one weird dude.
That's the best part of that movie.
And we will leave it on this one, because why not? Here's from Brad Collins. Did you guys run into Tyler's best buddy, the Master of the Galaxy, Bozone?
We saw him.
I was telling the story about that.
Go ahead.
It was great. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm looking, and I did a quick flash, and I seen him walking by. He seen the booth, and of course, with my mask, he couldn't tell that my peripherals were looking right at him, but he looked, and then he went like this, and like was, just wiping his head and his hair, and walked by and just kept going, almost like Bigfoot, getting the fuck out of the way. It's like, that was him. It just went. It was great.
I saw him first before he was there, and Joe saw him. He was at the entrance wondering where registration was, and I heard him speak. I didn't see him. I heard him, and I'm like, that sounds like him. And then I look over, I'm like, holy shit, it is him. And I took a picture, and I sent it to you guys. I'm like, Bozone's here.
Yep.
So we could have had... We missed out on the opportunity of having just a full-fledged, all-encompassing, every member of Fans of Power all together in one room, Joe, and you fucked it.
Yeah,
you fucked it.
Darn.
Troll 2 is actually another really good one. JSP's trolling here. Invasion USA is a classic.
Invasion USA.
That's a great movie. Wait, what? Invasion USA is awesome.
Hey, no,
awesome.
The laughy face, I think, tips it off.
Oh, okay. I was like,
just
what?
pulling a Ren, you know. Just
all right. Hey, Ren.
Poking the bear.
I did want to tell you, Ren, I love you, man. I can't wait to see you next time we get to spoon with each other again. It really is nice. So, we get to...
You fuck everything up.
Okay. All right, I tried, man. You did love the hug. He did love the hug. You should have seen the smile on his face. He got really excited.
He was terrified.
He was not terrified.
Oh, yeah.
What is this?
I gotta say, for Bob Barker passing away here recently, like, fuck Drew Carey. I'll never watch Parks and Rec anyway. Because he sucks.
Did you like ginger ale or something?
No,
when you're homesick.
Yeah, when you're homesick from school. I mean, Ren, I know you and Joe were already like graduated from high school at the time, so you don't understand.
Beaver and shit like that.
Yeah, banging beaver, you guys don't understand.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, yeah. Oh, for your mom.
Hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, that was a great episode. And if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified when we go live. And until next time, have a powerful day.
Cute cat. What's his name? Annoying customer. Fucking dickhead.
I know what that is.
Clerks.
Yeah.
Clerks.
Yeah. Clerks. Yeah.
Never seen that movie.
I love that line, especially the look that Randall gives the customer when he cusses him.
So you love a movie by Kevin Smith?
Yeah, because if you listen to this podcast, which I'm assuming you have, Goosen, because we would see your name in the chat all the time.
Yeah, I heard him saying that he's not a fan of He-Man.
Yeah, and he's not. He's a fucking liar, and he's a hired tool, and we already know that.
He is though.
Yeah, well, he says a lot of
let's
shit.
Get out of here. All right.
He smokes a lot of weed.
See you guys next time.
Joe really has to.
I love you, Jenny. I love you, baby.
I love you, Jenny, baby. I love you.
He's got to go hit it hard, Nathan.
Yeah, you got to hit it.
Yeah.
Get something that hits you hard.
Jenny,
look. Ren.
Jenny, look. This is how your baby will look.
Oh God, I love you, Jenny.
I love you, Jenny.
We love you, Jenny.
Yeah, we love you, Jenny.
Wait. I love you, Jenny.
I love you, Jenny.
Me and Jenny were like peas and carrots.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.